life I've barely spoken. Your words have been so broken. I've been under your hypnosis. Why did I sip that potion? I'm so done with holy ghosting. My birth, it is an omen. Lay me down up in the ocean until you see no motion. Right now I can barely focus. I'm showing no emotion. On your knees, show your devotion. My skin is black but golden. I'm not here for bragging, boasting. Ain't lying, I've been chosen. Mind is burning, heart's exploding. This is my magnum opus. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot them, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd. But still I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me? Step in the fire, get ready to take it higher. Real coming out your amplifier. Y'all want every black man to be rich and proud. Why these weapons up and turn into shy, huh? Cell phone became your brother. Internet replaced your mother. You leaving homies on red. It's no wonder all your friends dead. Jealousy was a centerpiece, so my best friends turned to enemies. Sabotage my identity. Why they wanna treat me like a Kennedy? They wanna affect the legacy. Protect it hard, I cut off the extremities. I'll never be another piece in your recipe for social supremacy. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot them, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd. But till I just look around, are you with me now? Are you with me now? Whoa. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot them, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd, but still I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me now? Whoa. I feel it coming now. It's too late to shut it down. I'm waiting about now. Burning the valley down. I don't know where my mind is. Don't even know what time is. Somebody stop the virus. I don't think I survived this. I feel it coming now. It's too late to shut it down. Over the mountain now. Burning the valley down. I don't know where my mind is. Don't even know what time is. Somebody stop the virus. Room full of bodies, but nothing but silence. Yeah, I'm quiet, but f*** all that shyness. Go crazy, turn this bitch into an asylum. You fly, but we ain't looking for pilots. I never back down to a tyrant, it's highness. Even Jack said, f*** all them giants. What goes up comes down, man, that's basic science. Look at my iris and you'll see the fines. I'd rather not get involved with you. What's the problem, man? I'll solve all you sign. How you find when your time up? How you climb when your line stuck? Barbershop getting lined up. Yeah, your hair good, but your mind super clear. Uber everywhere. This sound like Superman is here. Are you with me now? Said, are you with me now? Ain't felt this good in a while. They want us to simmer down. Can you hear me now? Am I going in and out? I stop and just look around to see if you're with me now. Tell me, are you with me now? Ready to put it down. Start at the bottom, already forgot it, but they won't forgive me now. You really ain't ready now. You haters just in the crowd, but still I just look around. Are you with me now? Are you with me now? Hey.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WardRadio live stream. I am your host, Cardinellis, and today I'm joined in the studio live by none other than Luke Hansen, editor-in-chief of WardRadio News, as well as via Zoom, if I can pull him up there, via Zoom by Jonah Barnes, the associate professor of all things apocryphal, as well as by all the members of this channel in the chat. Shout out to everybody that I see here. It's a lot of fun. Stephen Diamond said something totally hilarious. I didn't realize it, but there's a writers group forming in the Discord. Speaking of the Discord, I believe Luke put some really interesting attachments that will be germane and relevant to this live stream in our Discord. If you don't know where the Discord is, make sure you check us out at wardradio.com. There's a link to our Discord there where we're going to be downloading a bingo card. You guys are going to be able to play a little bit of bingo today as we read some sections from the leaked script of one Heretic movie that we got here.
Yeah.
Yes. Wait a second. Oh, I got the wrong microphone on. Hold on. I had the wrong microphone on for you. Okay, now say what you want to say, Luke.
I'm on now.
Oh, wait. No. You're on the yellow mic. Oh, no, you're on the green mic.
Should I just do that?
Yeah, that's good. No, actually, go back to the green one. We got you, bro. If there's any question whether or not what we're doing is live.
It is live. I can hear myself now. There we go.
Yeah, there is your answer right there.
I wanted to match the thumbnail, so I put the shades back on, and I guess we're being all cool and undercover, so keep these on for a little bit. But this is not just like we're reacting to a leaked script. We are the leaked script.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This isn't out
correct.
in public yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I got to tell you, I'm coming to this episode with some mixed emotions. First, we're going to get some Ward Radio wigwam business out of the way. Okay. And then I'm going to tell you some of the mixed emotions that we got. First things first, Jonah Barnes, you are the first counselor in the bishopric of the Ward Radio worship. Is there some business of membership records that need to be attended to briefly?
We have just received the records for Brother Kevin K, who joined the basic telestial ticket. All those who would like to welcome Brother Kevin K into the Ward Radio worship, please do so by putting a W in the chat.
All right. Awesome. So Kevin K, thank you very much for joining the Ward Radio Wiggle On. Everyone would like to welcome him. Please put a W in the chat. Also, if you guys haven't had a chance yet to like this stream, please make sure that you guys like this stream and that you share it with your friends. And pretty much without any further ado, we'll just jump right into what should we call this? Luke? The main event? Shall we say the main event?
I think we got a brief story first before we get to the Heretic script.
Okay, what's the story?
Yeah, and so the story is that unfortunately the Fairview City Council has denied the temple's request for a height variance variation exception, and so they're going to court now, it appears. So
wow.
City Council said no. I believe actually one of the council members or the mayor in the public meeting, not like behind closed doors, but in the public meeting, called it like a terrible monstrosity, or he called it something like very anti-temple. I don't know what it is with these NIMBYs and big beautiful buildings that they just hate so much, but
the rich white neighborhoods
right now,
that live up to every single negative progressive stereotype. Those ones.
Yep.
But, okay.
I'm glad that they found something to do on that city council besides feeding all the poor in the neighboring county, because we're handling that along with the East Texas Food Bank. So they don't have to worry about that. They have bigger dragons to slay, like stop those churches from being built. I'm glad they're on the hard case, on the hard quest, guys. Good job, city council. Good job.
Yeah, awesome. So, all right, dudes and dudettes, before we go any further, check your sound really fast, by the way. You just got very bassy and very roundy, so make sure whatever microphone you got coming in, Jonah, is the right one. You sound a little bit different. It might be on my end, it might be on yours, but I'm going to read a couple of super chats.
I'm so sorry about that. I left my microphone at the office, so I'm
okay. Hey, well, it's cool. You're just super zoomer. Bro. And you should hold it like that, just like the TikToks. Just be like, yo, did you guys know this super cool new hack that I just discovered? Okay. I just discovered this hack.
Follow
all
me
right.
for more, guys. Stitch incoming.
Yeah. So, okay. So here's a couple of the super chats we want to read first. Thank you very much. Over YouTube says, oh, stop it. You Mormons with beautiful architecture and Christ-like love. Such a joke on their part. Pray for the church. Thank you. Easton Woke Bro says, I appreciate all of you for defending the members/church from consistent Exmo anti-Mormon rhetoric spewed by people like Alyssa Grenfeld that paints all Mormons as evil and brainwashed and brainwashing children. Yeah, there's a lot of hateful rhetoric that's out there, and it's an absolute shame. Part of the reason we have this channel is to debunk tropes and lies that are propagated about members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, to show we actually indeed are kind of normal people that just have podcasts, have a lot of fun. We make good friends and neighbors. We're not those people that you need to ostracize and not trust. But as is oftentimes said by others. Ashlyn Jade Production says, I've missed the lives lately. Happy to see your handsome faces. I think she's talking about you, Luke.
Of course.
and those new
Obviously.
shades
Yeah.
and what they do for all of us here, as well as Jonah Barnes and his tasteful mood lighting. I really like that you've gotten rid of the usual bookshelf motif for the associate professor of all things apocryphal, and you got rid of the blue you used to mirror this studio. But now you've got red. Is this like Devil's Advocate? Is this like that Al Pacino, Keanu Reeves movie where he plays the lawyer for the devil? Like, what's going on here? Oh,
Muted.
yep. I think he did a real good sound. Oh, there we go.
That movie traumatized me, by the way. I saw that movie, Devil's Advocate, was horrific. No, this is my horror film mood lighting.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for Heretic.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Horrible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then we got a couple of other super chats we're going to burn through here really fast. Says, they all came out in different order. Okay, here we go. Chai Hodson says, prediction, the movie ends super dark. Skeptic missionary has a miracle save, but in reality, she had a mental break and is complicit with her captor.
Yeah. That one's interesting. That one's very interesting. Full disclosure, Cardin has read the first 3 pages of this script. Jonah has read 0 pages of this script, and I have read all the pages of this script twice and marked it up a little bit.
Well, you're going to be the authority that we're all reacting to. We kind of preserved that barrier so that ours could be a fresh reaction, and yours could be the informed reaction.
So I've got the shades and I've got the script. It's all right here. I marked it up a bit, and we're going to go through the whole thing. But the way we're going to do this is in the Discord, I believe in the West Foyer. For those watching, and even if you're watching this after the live stream is over, the WardRadio Discord, and then also on Instagram. So I posted these in the Discord and on Instagram. I believe Instagram is WardRadio Worldwide. You can follow along, take a screenshot on your phone, and mark it up, and we're going to play bingo. We're going to play anti-Mormon trope or just Mormon trope bingo, because there's a lot of cliches, there's a lot of damaging tropes in here. I have counted 21, I believe, on my list. Yep, 21 different ones. And so Jonah put together the bingo. So Jonah, not knowing what's in the movie, tried to predict what would be in it and put together a different bingo sheet, one representing Cardin, myself, him, and then Brittany the Shadow.
Okay, cool. You're stealing my intro, bro. You're still my intro. I haven't even given the origin story of this yet, man. But yeah, it's like you're the smart kid.
I'm saying so people can pull it up while we're talking.
Yeah,
you can pull it up and prep and choose which one you want to be and all that stuff while we're talking.
You're the smart kid in Sunday school that like gives all the answers for like the second and third part of the lesson before like anybody else knows what's coming, right? And it's like the teacher's like, "Oh, dang it. You just took like 3 of my scriptural references." No, I'm just kidding. So, here, let me finish reading these super chats and then I was going to let everybody come to the chat and then finish introducing what we're doing today. So Chai Hodson, thank you very much. Schmau has gifted 5 memberships, and Kelsey's comments. This is a beautiful comment. You're going to appreciate this, Luke. You're going to appreciate this, Jonah. Kelsey's comment says, I'm receiving my endowments at the end of this month. Thank you all for your part in my return journey. Everybody, that is awesome. Left, right, or center, we're all going to put a W.
That's awesome.
For Kelsey's comments right there in the chat. She's taking out her endowments. That is awesome. Dude, beautiful news, Kelsey's. Jay Stormy has basically signed up for the Telestial Kingdom. Thank you. And over YouTube, we already said his. Schmau and Mary Lou Howarth have gifted 5 and 10 Ward Radio memberships respectively. Jonah, can you welcome our new members into the chat? And then I'm going to tell everybody as they come into the stream what's going on. Jonah.
Wow. Well, our Ward Radio Ward missionaries are doing a great job in their calling. Schmau, foremost of those. All those who would like to welcome Brother Easton Wokebro, Ben Giles, Chelsea Robson, Ikaika's Shuttle Service, and Living My Life, please put 5 W's in the chat. But Mary Lou Howarth, Sister Howarth, excellent missionary. Was she in Heretic? Is that about Sister Howarth and her missionary work? Could be. Could be. She's doing a great job gifting 10 memberships to Boise Bailey's, David Broshannon, Artifice 6, Tyler Dennison, John Davis, Tandy B, Mrs. Eliza VL, Keola, Chad Soldberg, and Ken Kersey. Remember, after a month renew your memberships, you get member exclusive content on the channel. We just had some member exclusive videos drop this week. So all the secrets, all the deep, dark secrets of your favorite cult, you'll get to know them if you're a member of the Ward Radio Worship. Please put W's in the chat for our new members.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. So, okay, here, guys. Here's what's going on. Oh, yeah, Luke, yes, something to
Also,
say.
we saw that Fidget the Crazy is going through the temple for the first time on, if I'm correct, Thursday. This Thursday.
Really?
Fidget!
That would be 2 days from today, if I'm not mistaken. So that's
Hey.
awesome.
We don't have time. We don't have time to fly down there, Fidget. What are you doing? You got to give us more warning.
You know what?
That's cool.
We've got these two big people, part of the channel, going through the temple for the first time.
Alicia Brown.
I think
Alicia Brown's
she
daughter.
already went, right, recently.
Yeah, Fidget the
Fidget,
Crazy.
Kelsey.
A couple of others
Yeah.
that have just put it in the Discord.
Do
This
you
is
think
awesome.
we should we like prioritize that temple prep episode we just recorded 2 days ago?
Oh, geez, yes, we got to do that. Oh, my
No,
gosh.
guys,
maybe-
let's do an episode in the temple.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You've got the perfect mood lighting for that, bro. You got the perfect mood lighting for this idea. Yes, this is awesome, man. This is awesome. So anyway, guys.
Yep. Kelsey says we need to release that episode.
Yes, we will release that. We're going to do that for you, Kelsey. You've been a longtime member of the show, and we will gladly do that for you. My responsibility load just got heavier. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, here's what's going on today, guys. Mission statement of this channel is to delight in truth, denounce deception, have fun, right? And we do that by basically talking anything and everything tangential to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I love how you're already holding up the script and you got the glasses and
I'm ready.
everything. So here's what's going on, guys. Is with much enthusiasm, we all saw the A24 film Heretic coming out, starring one Hugh Grant, that featured basically a story of two sister missionaries that get all but abducted while they're knocking doors by a crazed psychopath, a crazy person, who decides to subject them to a bunch of what seemed to be during the trailer some kind of, I don't know, trial of faith, shall we say, similar to like the Saw franchise or, I don't know, some kind of mousetrap video game or something where they had to escape from the crazy person's house, right? And we all thought, oh, kind of a cool premise, because let's be honest, Jonah, you served in Russia. Luke, you served in Africa.
Yep.
I served in Argentina. We're all returned missionaries here, real missionaries, not just actors. Once you know the stats, how like 1 out of every 10,000 people is actually a raging psychopath, and you've knocked like your 30,000th door, there's a couple of doors that you knock where you kind of think nothing's really stopping the person on the other side of this door from just like blowing through the door with a shotgun. You know what I'm saying? And like, I would they ever find me? Would they know what happened? Am I overdue for this? Just because by sheer numbers alone, like, you know, it's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And like being just like truck drivers see really crazy stuff because they drive around all day. Missionaries, we see really crazy stuff because we're in the street all day. And, you know, it crosses our mind. And what a great premise for a movie. However, all of us kind of saw what wokeism did to Star Wars. All of us saw what all of these reimaginings have done to all these beloved IPs. And it seems like Hollywood, I love Hollywood. I'm a Hollywood guy. Okay. You know, I'm not, you know, I'm by no means a big deal. I'm a small fish in a very large pond making zero claims to coolness or gravitas here. But, you know, I have lived in Los Angeles my entire life and have enjoyed helping a lot of projects get completed in the entertainment industry. You've won a couple of awards that I'm very proud of. And I have to say, I love my industry, okay? But I recognize sometimes, just like a beloved friend or a beloved cousin, it has its flaws. And one of its current flaws is that woke is ruining a lot of IP, okay? And I haven't even seen The Acolyte yet, okay? But that seems to be example numero uno. And we've all seen these other reimaginings where, like, you know, it's not really Batman until it's a raging lesbian who's vegan, who throws, you know, bat bombs named anti-patriarchy missiles at the bad guy before, you know, we all know that it's all good, okay? So there was a concern that, you know, maybe this horror movie does it misrepresent us or does it knock us out of the park? Well, somebody in the process of either pre-production or post-production, so pre-production, production, or post-production, felt that the film was detrimental enough, shall we say, or just maybe not representative of the reality of Missionaries of the Church of Jesus Christ or of our doctrines or of whatever. I don't know their motivations because we don't know who this person is. They did this anonymously. But it seems like somebody along the chain thought that, okay, cool, the Ward Radio guys need to see this. So this script got leaked to us. And unfortunately, we'd kind of heard through, you want to call it the rumor mill, you want to call it an anonymous tip line, whatever, that there was some very just misrepresentation. So Luke, who is the editor-in-chief of Ward Radio News, decided he would take a look at it, okay? And what'd you say?
A little look-see. Yep.
Yeah, a little look-see here. And as the host of this channel, the proprietor of WardRadio News, I come at this with two mixed emotions at the same time. First, I kind of believe that, hey, any kind of publicity is publicity. And we enjoyed increased baptisms, from what I understand, in New York City during the time of the Book of Mormon musical. And so though there was all kinds of horrible tropes in there, when it gets people talking to missionaries, if you actually have truth, you may not start the conversation off in a good foot, but you can end the conversation on a good foot. So all publicity is good publicity. But there's also another side of me that's like, man, they say things about members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints you never envision them saying about Muslims or Jews. Why on earth is it okay for Hollywood or for the Washington Post or for these woke scolds online to say all these horrible recycled, anti-Mormon tropes that they wouldn't say about Jews or Muslims? Like, why is this permitted in polite society if we've supposedly gone past this, right? So instead of being a bunch of whiners, like we're not the Christian right in the 80s, okay? We're fun guys. We're all comedians. We're all happy dudes. We're all serious individuals that all have a lighthearted side. So Jonah Barnes here, who's probably the best comedic author of all of us, has created his own bingo cards, and we guessed ahead of time, two of us, without having seen it, what, if they were to go tropey, what tropes would they use? And if they were to go actually epic, what epic scenarios would they use? So we've got a couple of really cool epic scenarios that were already suggested in the chat. And this is where you guys come in. Before we get started, you can super chat us and we'll see if we agree what tropes, if they were to use tropes, you thought they used. And the reason why I think there might be tropes is because there's only 3 pages that I read on this thing. But Luke, can you pass me it really, really fast? I did indeed change the cover because sometimes covers are watermarked. So I didn't want to out whoever this leaker was or whatever, but I will read the back cover. And yes, I know you purists, I did not use brads. I put it in a 3-ring binder because it makes it easier to carry around in my backpack. I am not a purist. So anyway, moving on. Listen to this postscript, Jonah. All descriptions of religious texts, scriptures, artwork, and ceremonial rituals in this screenplay are accurate. The authors would like to acknowledge the following texts that formed the foundation of their religious and philosophical research. So religious and philosophical research about the protagonists of this film, namely missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Religious and philosophical research has robust religious and philosophical research has been performed on this, enough to have a big fat blurb like this, right? And so these are their citations. God is Not Great by Christopher Hitchens. Okay, Going Clear by Lawrence Wright.
Oh, God.
So the anti-Scientologist book, the anti-religion book, the Holy Bible. Okay, at least they got the Holy Bible in there. No Man Knows My History by Fawn Brody.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, No Man Knows My History by Fawn Brody is kind of like saying, oh, I know about you Jews. I read some books by some Germans in the 1930s.
I read Mein Kampf.
Yeah, I read Mein Kampf. Okay. On the Origin of Species by Charles Darwin. Hey, there's some theories that have not withstood the test of time in that book, and there's some theories that have informed other theories that have withstood the test of time. We welcome anything scientific, but that one is followed up by Phaedrus by Plato, Sulmacra and Simulation by Jean Boudiard. I don't know how to pronounce the name correctly. The Book of Mormon, The Doctrine and Covenants, The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, and then a bunch of the Society Spectacle. And this one, I can just stop here because you get where it's going, are Our Heads in the Clouds, Science Fiction or Fact, and Under the Banner of Heaven by John Krakauer.
John Krakauer, yeah.
So besides quoting Goebbels, besides quoting Hitler, and besides quoting, the others who did not have good things to say about that religion, these
Woodrow
guys.
Wilson.
And the sad thing is, there's a possibility. I'm not holding out hope that this is obviously not just some kind of hit piece. There's a possibility that this is, maybe this was somebody's best honest efforts. They didn't, try and research from a uniquely anti-Mormon or anti-religious perspective. And maybe these were just the top 10 books when you Google them. But yeah, I don't know. It was, it's kind of tough to believe when you hear that. And I do have one massive caveat about this. I don't think this could be a hoax. If you pay for enough credits in artificial intelligence, you could have it produce a script for you. However, AI is still in its infancy enough that there's some recognizable kind of tells, shall we say, okay, that are not present in this, at least according to Luke here, who's editor-in-chief of WardRadio News and a very serious individual, has been a journalist for a long time for multiple outlets, and we appreciate his scrutiny here. So you don't think it can be AI, right, Luke?
No. So here's the thing. We've seen the trailer, and actually I think we should play the trailer again.
Okay, yeah, we will, yeah.
But there are specific things in this script that come from the trailer. I can find the whole trailer in this script, even like little shots that you don't expect. Actually, I need that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't put that somewhere. There we go. All right. Yeah, so this is obviously very clearly, I sincerely hope this is not the final draft. Like, I hope this is not what gets onto film. I hope they rework some of this during the shoot, but this is the script of Heretic. It's what you see in the trailer. And as far as these books go,
you can say as best you could tell, right?
No. I mean, this is in the trailer. So everything you see in the trailer happens in here. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. So when you look at the back here, all the sources that you said, you notice that they have what is colloquially understood as the best not anti-Mormon, but anti-religion, and even in terms of Fawn Brody, anti-Mormon books. But there's no pro. You don't have the William Lane Craig, or you don't Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, not in here, and it shows in the script that we're gonna get to right now. So I think I'm excited for this. I read this 2 days ago, and I've just been closing my mouth and not telling anybody about it so that it can be all revealed here.
Well, in your opinion, is it a woke dumpster fire anti-religious, or specifically, is it just anti-religious? Is it anti-Mormon? Is it actually kind of fairly even-handed, and they
too heavily on tropes and stereotypes and all that stuff?
I'm
gonna point out specifically how the plot. This isn't just my subjective analysis, but I'm gonna point out in one case specifically how the whole plot just kind of falls apart and doesn't make sense.
And that's so sad though, because what a good premise.
Yeah.
Kidnapped missionaries. Nobody has done that premise yet. Blind girl, Audrey Hepburn, stuck in a house with a serial killer. How do you fight a serial killer when you're blind? Timeless horror. This is amazing. What's the name of the movie? I'm totally botching it right now.
Wait Until Dark.
Wait Until Dark. Yes. Yeah. Wait Until Dark. Phenomenal. And the sad thing is these. I had a lot of respect for these writers, because do you know what Beck and Woods wrote, my man? Do you know what Beck and Woods wrote?
I don't know who that is.
They
did A Quiet Place.
Yes, they're the brainchildren behind A Quiet Place. So now, if this was coming out who was the writer of Milk that was an ex-Mormon, anti-Mormon that hated the church and was always writing hit pieces and so on and so forth. If this came from, some kind of ex-Mormon with an axe to grind, we might think, Okay, well, it's like, oh man, do you know how many members of the church, like all of Utah, went to go see that movie over Trek, which was released the same weekend? And frankly, I think that was probably a good choice because Deseret Book is a poor distributor. But you know what I'm saying? Like, whoever made that choice, the only PG-13 family-friendly thriller horror movie that has come out in 6 months in either direction was competing with a low-budget, comedy, niche comedy. That was a boneheaded decision. Whoever at Deseret Book decided to compete with A Quiet Place made a poor decision. So anyway, we're just going to... Yeah,
I just want to say, I already am poisoned against this because you don't come out at the end of your script and say, "Hey guys, we're just making a movie. This is for entertainment. We're filmmakers. We're making art." No, you don't say that. Instead, you say, "The research that we have done in this film is reading all these books, which there's no chance these guys have read. They didn't read the D&C. They didn't read the Holy Bible. They didn't read the God Delusion. Give me a break." They come out and make it sound like they're these brainiacs. Look, you're filmmakers. Don't be ashamed of it. Make a good movie. You don't have to pretend like the philosophers, for pity's sakes. So that disclaimer, I think, is just the dumbest.
Well, I don't. Well, that also legal might have required that they do this, right? Mm-hmm. You got something to say, Luke?
No. I just want to read the super chats and get to this thing.
Okay, cool. I know you're stoked. So here's the super chats really fast. Daniel, you want to read them?
Yeah.
Okay,
Daniel,
go for it.
Jachin just gave us $3.
Oh,
Woo-hoo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rock on.
I don't see a message from you elsewhere, so I think you just were giving us $3. Now, this is kind of a big deal and is surprising. I keep hearing that the temple endowment was shortened by 20 plus minutes today. Have y'all heard anything about this? And the replies to this super chat, first of all, thank you, Daniel Floyd, for sending this in. The replies to this say, yeah, I heard it's under an hour now. Somebody else said, went this morning, very quote unquote streamlined. And then somebody else said, yes, new format was released today. It's beautiful, really polished up.
Okay, well,
and
that's
then
good
somebody
to hear.
else said dialogue is cleaned up and not as clunky in the timeline of the story. So
now, if you recall, back a few months ago, we did a video, The Secrets of the LDS Temple Endowment. We also made a supercut of that video. If you're going through the temple for your first time here soon on Thursday, you should go watch that video. It'll tell you all about what you're going to see in the endowment. And in that video, in that episode, we recommended and predicted that the endowment would be shortened. So clearly, Russell M. Nelson watches the show. Hello, President Nelson. We're so glad you're here with us tonight. Put a W in the chat for President Nelson. We know that you're lurking here. And he's watching us, so he can't go see Heretic because it's rated R. But he can read the script here. He's a big A24 fan, but he's going to get what he needs from us here reading the script because he can't go see the movie. And they shortened the endowment because of it. Prediction came true. Prophecy fulfilled.
All right, awesome. So, Luke, next super chat, my man.
Yes. Somebody else. Oh, Fidget super chatted and said that we forgot Saratov approach. Oh, yes, the missionaries being kidnapped. And that was actually a real story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Shout out to McLean Nelson, who actually made that film. Mm-hmm. I believe he was also one of the featured actors, if memory serves me correctly.
Apparently, that film makes moms very anxious. So
about sending their children to Russia like Jonah?
For their missionaries. Very anxious for their missionaries. But if you are not a missionary mom, great film, as far as I remember when I watched it 10 years ago.
Okay.
Brian.
Shout out to Elder Tuttle. You did good work. How's it going, brother?
Cool.
He was one of the kidnapped elders. Good guy.
All right, awesome.
And then we have Brian Bacon. Thank you for the super chat. Brian saying, when can we pre-order Keys to the Keystone?
Oh, this book right here. You mean Jonah Barnes' book with a foreword by D. John Butler on your screen? Jonah, when does the pre-order start? When are we going to release the really cool content, the apocryphal content associated with the book, man? What's our start date? When can we release the horses and the hounds in the big race, man? What's the date that we can start pre-orders?
I think that we think, and I'm not sure, but I think that the date for pre-ordering begins September 1st. You'll be able to pre-order right here at WardRadio. And then full-on orders are going to be just 2 weeks after that. So it's going to be exclusively here at WardRadio if you want to pre-order that book. pretty good book.
Okay, so
And,
for the first 2 weeks, you guys heard that correctly. For the first 2 weeks, the key to the keystone, how apocryphal texts unlock the Book of Mormon's brass plates, or in other words, why the most important book of our religion, the brass plates, is a book that nobody has read yet because it was the apocryphal Genesis that led Lehi to leave into the desert and informed the rest of the Book of Mormon and the diasporic Jews in the New World, known as the Nephites and the Lamanites, who are the stars of the show of the Book of Mormon, and basically how that affects everything in our faith and even informs the Bible and the apocryphal text that we can read now and make sense of everything. So it's super cool. It's going to be available here for the first 2 weeks exclusively on links in this description, as well as through WardRadio. So keep your eyes open for that next super chat, Luke.
Stephen Diamond just super chatted. Thank you, Stephen Diamond. And he said, shout out to the WardRadio writing group. Join it, please. I don't promise you'll get a Temple Rock. Ah, darn it. But it is a great place. Brad is there as well. And this is on the Discord, by the way.
Okay.
That's the place you can join there. All right. I think we're good. And shall we play that trailer and get into the script?
Yep. We're going to play the trailer right now. Oop. I got out of the trailer for the key to the keystone thing. So I'm pulling it right now. A24.
Yeah. And while you're pulling it up.
Trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. While you're pulling it up, this is what looks like it's going to be a rated R movie. And we will be reading the script for it. So adultish content from here on out and spoilers, full spoilers.
Okay.
And this is not our script. Not our script. This is for educational purposes. Okay.
Yes.
And for copyright purposes, we're making that very clear here.
Yeah. Well, basically, just so everybody knows, we're not representing this content as our own. We're not representing this content for any kind of personal financial gain, other than to, if there are tropes, we're the diversity reader, shall we say, right? We're the diversity reader that is educating the public as to what might be simply an anti-Mormon and anti-religious trope and what may not be reality. There is zero call to action here. We're making that very, very clear. There is zero call to action here. We're not telling you whether you should go see the movie or not. We are simply informing and educating the public, increasing awareness as to what might be actually anti-Mormonism in this flick or in this script, and what actually might be real. And you can decide whether or not you want to participate in said cinema. But yeah, that's the disclaimer here. We're being totally transparent as to the origin of this and to our motives, because our motives basically are, we want the public to know what's real, what's false, what's misinformation, what's not misinformation, so on and so forth. So without any further ado, we're going to show you guys the trailer for the movie that we will indeed be analyzing.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am.
Are you interested in learning about our Savior, Jesus Christ? Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi, are you
My name is Sister Barnes, and
Oh my gosh.
By the way, that, oh my gosh, we all did meet a sister like that. I give these actresses some credit if that kind of did sound like a sister missionary. It's kind of funny.
Are you interested in learning more about the Church of Jesus Christ?
Come on in.
We can't come inside unless another woman is present.
My wife is home. Does that count?
Great.
You like pie?
Yeah.
By the way, just so that I don't get flagged by copyright here on YouTube for simply just playing a trailer, I will occasionally interject small pieces. I think all of you guys would admit that as returned missionaries, you never ask, are you interested? Because everybody would simply say no and then slam the door. So these girls should have known it was a serial killer simply just because he said yes to the are you interested, okay? Let's keep going.
My wife has pie in the oven.
I could tell that you are a very spiritually curious person.
I think it is good to be religious, to find your faith in a doctrine you actually believe.
Well, our work here is done.
Now, I will go and check on the pie.
Ooh. Rough. There it is. Blueberry pie. Now it happens. Oh, this is good.
Can you fit through this? You're crazy.
Oh, it's going down.
We just need to go home.
I won't keep you if you wish to leave. But I want you to choose which door to go through based on your faith.
What does this have to do with us leaving?
Everything.
Okay, now before the rest of this trailer finishes, pause briefly for copyright, and also just to give credit where credit is due. Do you remember in What Lies Beneath when they finally cast as a bad guy? Who did they cast as a bad guy in What Lies Beneath?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Harrison Ford.
The first time he played a bad guy, it was so unbelievable that he was the bad guy. When he ended up being the bad guy, it was like, holy smoke. One of the best casting decisions that I ever heard in my life. Now, getting like the heartthrob Hugh Grant to be the serial killer, amazing choice. We give credit where credit is due.
I think that we're being studied.
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die.
I like that face little twitch right there.
Be afraid.
I know what's going on there.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, I card in
Oh,
it.
snap.
I
Okay, hold on.
told
We'll let
you.
it go. We'll let it
You
go.
will witness a miracle.
Whoa. All right.
Okay. And apparently it looks like this is coming out in November. All right, so you guys, that is the trailer. And now we go into the script, the leaked script. We've been waiting so long for this. First of all, on our Instagram, WardRadio, is the bingo cards. We're going to be playing along what stereotypes, what anti-Mormon tropes, what anti-religious tropes might be in this movie. Choose your champion. Cardin, myself, Jonah, or Brittany. We all have a separate one where they've been jumbled up and some switched out, courtesy of Jonah, who has not read the script, so he doesn't know what's in it. And we're going to see which one of us wins first, or if anybody wins, or if we all win, or what happens. All right.
Hey, remember, if anybody wins, it means that I correctly guessed how cliche and stupid their anti-Mormon tropes are.
Yeah. And
Should
just
we
so
go
you know,
over the bingo cards briefly first before you jump in?
Sure, if you want to. I
Yeah.
think it's
That's
in
a
the
very
West,
good idea.
the West Foyer on the Ward Radio Discord, and then on our Instagram page. And you can just screenshot it on your phone and be marking it off as we go.
Okay, so I'm on the Discord, and just in case nobody knows what the Discord is, you can check it out on wardradio.com. Where is the
West Foyer.
Here it is, the West Foyer. Okay. So all of our Discord community here, you can check it out. It's divided into all kinds of fun stuff. There's a prayer roll, temple prep, church news, and there's the East and the West Foyer based off of the East Coast of the United States and the West Coast of the United States. And there's also a worldwide section. So when we go into the West Foyer, here you put the bingo cards up. There they are for the audience to see. Let's go over the first one.
Okay, first one. So, brainless feelings is they mock that, oh, you just believe in something just because you kind of feel nice. You're just emotional. You're not intelligent.
Yeah, you're stupid if
of-
you believe. It's the you're stupid if you believe trope. Okay.
Lots of kids, obviously, because members of the church are known for having lots of kids, judging. Religious people are just actually super judging, judgmental.
And that's also we're going over also indirectly the top 30 rules of anti-Mormons right here. They always conflate
Actually,
Utah-isms for Mormonisms. Judgy, they always invoke suburbanism as a Mormonism, and they always conflate suburbanism or like what Tikla Fife says, whatever hatred they have of their dad for hatred of the church, So, okay, Then the next one, faith excuses evil, the Jonathan Krakauer thing, and no education or career for women, even though LDS women or women who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints enjoy 15 years average of education while the average American woman is 7.
13 years compared to 7 on average. So our women are almost twice as educated as the average population.
Okay, keep burning through these tropes. I got it on the screen, man.
Okay, sexual repression, that they're actually sexual, but they're just repressed by the religion. Abuse of children, that religions just abuse children. Religion as a man-made opioid. That is, people created it to keep poor people down. Religion is just an opioid for the masses. The Book of Mormon is fantasy, patriarchy. That these women are, scared they can't stand up to a man, or they're always subservient to men. The men are pigs. Talking like a cartoon. So this one came from the Under the Banner of Heaven, where they're always like, but brother, sister, brother Brown, Jehovah would not approve of this behavior. Like, they talk like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Religion as an evolutionary cope. That is, we came up with religion through evolution because it helps us feel better about ourselves or whatever. Extreme modesty, like, oh, my ankles are showing. Oh, profanity, like someone says, oh, heck, and all the Mormons go, oh, like, ridiculous trope. Racism, obviously, like they walk by a black guy and they shudder or they jump away or some stupid trope like that.
Yeah.
Tyrannical leaders and blind obeisance. So that's, we can't do that because our mission president says we can't do that.
So obeisance is just a big word that I didn't know. It's not just obese accidentally mixed with acquiescence.
That's exactly what it is. It's obese acquiescence.
Okay, awesome. Next one.
Extreme naivete, self-explanatory. Old Testament violence. They're always like, well, one time in the book of Joshua, these atheists think they're so smart. Closed-mindedness. Oh no, I can't watch that TV show. I can't think of these ideas. Read those books because I'm religious. Intolerance to LGBT. If that's not in there, I'll eat my hat.
Yeah.
This is a Hollywood movie about members of the church. Garments. Insecure faith. So, you believe, but do you really believe? It's like, well, I say I believe, but deep down I know that it's all fake.
Okay.
And there's coffee, tea, tobacco. Obviously, false happiness is like they're pretending to be happy, but deep down they're really miserable. There's some other ones in there that are kind of mixed in, but I think you get the gist.
Yes, we get the gist, and we think your bingo cards are hilarious. And I'm looking forward to this. The only one that I think may not be the trope is maybe extreme naivete, but not naivete. There's a couple out there. There's a couple where it's like, man, you're swimming with sharks and you don't even realize these people. Like, maybe if we just pray for John DeLynn and bake him a cake, he'll stop hating us. It's just like, he makes $500,000 a year off this. Not gonna happen, right? So anyway, all right, let's jump right in. So where do we start, Luke? Like, did you
at
just
the very beginning? At
the very beginning. So do you just want to just give an overview of the scene and then maybe a couple of, obviously you don't want to just read an entire page and bore the audience. Do you want to just give us like the Reader's Digest and then a couple of specifics?
We're going through this.
Okay, let's hit it. All right,
I got this. So we have the two sisters. And you can kind of see it from the trailer. One's dressed basically all in black, and then one's kind of got the pink and the white and everything going on.
Okay.
So that's a visual cue for the audience, obviously, to show what these missionaries are like. So Sister Paxton and Sister Barnes, this is the script. This is the beginning, first scene. Have your bingo cards ready, because these are going to show up fast.
Okay,
bingo things. Occasionally look at their shared phone. They are early for an appointment. Paxton is bubbly but sheltered. Barnes is intelligent and edgy. Well, edgy for a Mormon missionary. This isn't even before we've gotten into the words themselves. So they wear long winter overcoats, skirts that fully cover the knee, modest attire that does not draw attention to itself. All right,
Sure.
So I think we're doing overly modest already. Because if you look at the trailer, it's like, no. In the trailer, it's like to here.
That
it's
also
like
might be because it's cold. Look, I'm being the devil's advocate.
Nope.
Maybe it's just because it's cold.
Nope.
Maybe it's just because it's cold.
It doesn't say cold. It says modest.
That's a director's choice, and it was raining.
Absolutely
it was a rainy day.
Nope.
I'm not sold, but you guys can keep
the
going.
trope.
I'm not going to win at bingo. I'm defending my Hollywood guy friends. Hopefully they like me. No, I'm just kidding.
All right,
going.
so the names are going to get confusing here. So I'm just going to do Sister Cute and Sister Smart, okay? That's how, so the kind of bubbly, younger, naive one is Sister Cute, and then the one that's dressed all in black is Sister Smart. And that's how we're going to do this going on here and out.
Okay.
All right, the two bicycle, and this is adult, you guys, this is probably rated R. And we're just going to get into this. We're going to see what the opening scene is. Two bicycles lean near the park bench where they uncomfortably sit. The park bench has a full-sized condom advertisement on it.
Oh.
That says, "Bigger just got better." And so the opening scene of the film, I don't understand this. Who wants to watch this? I don't get it. But
I think it's funny. But I'm degenerate though. Just keep going. Keep going.
No, but like, what's funny about that? Mormon missionaries is sex.
Well, just the juxtaposition.
Come on, that's like 6th grade.
No, but the juxtaposition
5th grade
of women or men of God serving in a society that celebrates supposedly premarital sex, because that's what you predominantly have contraception for. That's what you market to, at least I should say. To me, that's just kind of like humorous juxtaposition. Keep going.
No, it's not juxtaposition. They have a full-on conversation about it.
Oh, okay. Keep going. Okay.
Yeah. So Sister Cute tries to say how she one time watched 18+ content and it strengthened her testimony.
She said I think the title, I did read this one. She said,
yes.
I watched a porno, and she actually said the words, right?
Yeah, so she was very happy describing what she saw to her sister companion, but she couldn't force herself to say the word sex. What?
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 Huh.
Gosh.
In a public space. Like, this makes no sense other than like the haha. I wrote a script.
Can you read the
okay, fine.
what it is? But
so here's Sister Cute.
I'm going to say extreme naivete. I'm on my way to a bingo.
Actually, it is extreme naivete, because Sister Cute is saying, I think it's just marketing and the condoms are not actually bigger. And so it's kind of like, haha, missionaries don't know anything about sex. But then they roll right into Sister Cute one. So Sister Cute, the same one that was saying it before, now starts telling them about the time that she was watching this video. And she said she saw two people, this is a quote from Sister Cute, two people having intercourse, sexual intercourse, and then in parentheses it says, come on, just say it. Sex, and a cameraman filming them, an amateur pornography type of thing. And she goes on to explain this, and essentially what it is she's like, yeah, it built my faith because the girl in it just looked so soulless, and so it just confirmed to me that God was real. And the other sister Smart, says, okay, sure, whatever. And so
so they're trying to make one of the characters kind of like a judgy Protestant-like person that's carrying the tropes of the judgy archetype. Meanwhile, the other
I don't think you're a judgy Protestant type of person if you look at 18+ content and decide that that's deeply degrading to the human person.
Huh.
But it's
okay.
It's just the nonsense of like two missionaries in a public spot, and the cute, naive one just starts talking about this and is comfortable talking about it, but is uncomfortable saying the word sex. But is comfortable talking about it in public. And it's like a whole... it doesn't make any sense. And this is how long the conversation is. This is like the whole conversation here. And then it keeps going onto this page over here. And it just keeps going down the whole other page. And so finally we're done with that. So we've marked off like 4 things on our bingo card already.
Yeah, I'm on my way to a bingo.
Yeah, so here she is. I felt in that moment, yeah, we have souls. God is real. It was a divine confirmation. Okay. Cool. So they continue on, and she says, anyway, I'm highly skeptical about the condoms because I'm positive people just believe what they're told by marketing. So just very naive and just assumes that, I don't know, marketing's wrong on the size of condoms for some reason.
Not a smoking gun for me yet. But
it's a super weak start.
It's odd start.
Yeah, it just makes no sense.
They're building character. You got to build character.
This isn't building character.
And exposition.
There's no exposition here. We're not learning anything.
I love how the insinuation is that the naive girl thinks that pornography is soul crushing to women.
Exactly.
It is soul crushing to women.
Are we just living up to every negative stereotype?
No,
Are we just living up to every negative stereotype?
That's not a negative
Because they're trying to make her a judgy person. They can't. I mean, it's
No, Carden, I don't think you're following this.
I will die on that hill. Pornography
Amen.
Is horribly, wickedly soul crushing to everyone involved. That is the hill I will die on.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm completely fine if the naive girl doesn't know that there's different sizes down there.
Huh. Okay. All right.
You're dumb. You don't know about the size distribution. What? Okay.
Hey, I was recruited once for my size, okay?
All right.
And I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. No, just kidding.
Then she says shiz. So we got a little
Okay, that's
shiz
funny.
instead. And then this part doesn't make sense. Then they're talking about this appointment that they're supposed to go to. And so she's scrolling through her phone and says his Christian name is unlisted. I don't know what the whole his Christian name versus I don't know what else, but that's in there. So that happened. And then they have a conversation about how many people each of them baptized. And so Sister Cute is saying, oh, I hope this goes well because I haven't had any baptisms yet. And Sister Smart says, well, I've only converted like 8 or 9 people. And then Sister Cute says, 8 or 9 balls.
What is this, like a multi-level marketing scheme or what? Okay.
And
okay.
I'm like, how long? I'm so confused. Like, how long have these missionaries been together? Is this their first day out in the field? Are they like 3 months in, and then all of a sudden they start talking about what they watched one time on social media and how many people they baptized all in the same 15-minute conversation? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But the storm clouds start coming in.
Okay.
And so we shift to another scene, late afternoon. Oh, and then the credits roll. So this whole scene happens at first, and then the credit, Heretic. And
Okay, so
with the
do
music.
you feel that it's just like not really representative of how Sister
It's
Missionaries really are, or what?
It's just a dumpster fire so far. The dialogue makes no sense. The context makes no sense. It's just like, haha, the girl, the
Are
girls
you sensing
that,
anti-Mormonism, or are you just sensing kind of like maybe just it's more
They're
like
two-dimensional. They're just shallow characters. They're
Yeah.
just two-dimensional.
Okay, fine. Well, keep going. Keep going.
All right, then they're walking down the street late afternoon, and they have a conversation about how Sister Cute was grinding her teeth again, and it doesn't really bother her. So this appears to be hinting at some sort of repressed tension that she's not showing in the real world, and so she grinds her teeth at night. Okay?
Okay.
So we
okay.
can tick that off the box.
Okay. Oh, well, I don't know. What if I grind my teeth? Are we being hypersensitive here?
No,
Or like,
but why do you put that in a movie?
I want a smoking
If-
gun,
no-
man. I want a
Carden-
smoking gun. I want to
No,
see
we're
when
getting
like
to
he
it.
forces the
Carden.
one Sister Missionary to say, I don't believe, as she like slays her other friend,
Yeah.
or like it's always been a lie, or else, I don't know, the lesbian makeout at the end that is coming, or like whatever. Like,
I have that. That's one of my secret lesbians. That's on my board.
okay. So
It's
keep
coming. I
going.
know it's coming.
Keep going.
But just like, why is that in the movie? It's supposed to, these scenes are supposed to mean something. You don't have unlimited budget and time. And so they're trying to get at something by putting it in
Do you
here.
feel like they're trying to cast the missionaries as hypocrites? Like not really people actually
Yeah.
going about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So okay. So then we switch to another scene. So they have a teeth grinding conversation after the other conversation they had. And now we're switching to another scene in the late afternoon of the same day. A little farther down, the girls politely wave at everybody who passes by. We saw it in the trailer. A group of college girls approaches in the distance, similar in age, but fashionable. Okay. And Sister Cute says,
rough.
And Sister Cute says, oh my gosh, they're so pretty. I already love these girls. Now, if you're being an anti-feminist, I mean, not anti-feminist, but if you're being like a pro-woman type of message, I don't understand why we're writing them as like the shallow, I see another girl and like, oh, I love her already.
Oh, maybe she's just being nice. Maybe she's being nice.
Okay.
Okay. Keep going.
No,
keep
but
going,
because
keep
they're
going.
pretty.
Oh, yeah, but girls say, Brittany's here now.
When they're far off.
Okay.
Not like to them, but when they're far off. These are her internal. Anyway, the girls come up, ask for a picture. That doesn't make any sense, but okay. The sorority girls ask for a picture, and after they take the picture, she says, I have to know something. Is it true? Is what true? That you wear magic underwear. And she pulls her skirt down and shows her garments.
What?
This is all the first 5 minutes of the film, you guys.
Okay, no, you should have started out with that, okay? You should have started out with that. That's a smoking gun, not necessarily the other stuff. So wait. There's a scene where the Sister Missionary gets asked if she wears magic underwear, which is the silly trope that they use to misrepresent the garment. I'm sorry. It's like we don't say that Catholics who pray the rosary have, who was that rapper that wore the big clocks? Who was the rapper that wore a big clocks?
oh,
Flava Flav. Yeah.
Flava Flav.
Yeah, we don't call the rosary. Oh, you got your Flava Flav beads to the Catholics. You know, like nobody does that, but they consistently, we don't have magic anything. Okay, this isn't freaking Barnum and Bailey. This isn't, that's a disrespectful misrepresentation of the temple garment. And all different types of faiths have different types of everything from sacred clothing to jewelry or whatever, some kind of representation, whether it's the Sikhs and their daggers and their turbans, or whether it's the Lutherans and their cool little white thing, or whether it's the priests and their little smock, or the Pope in his hat. Okay, everybody's got something. Nobody walks around saying, "Oh, Pope, you got your magical hat." But anyway, okay, keep going. So she pulls her underwear down to show her garments.
Yep, and the other girls are filming it and laughing.
So the girl that was so naive before she didn't recognize the condom joke is now flashing other people to strut her magic underwear stuff.
No, the sorority girl pulls the sister missionaries' skirt down.
Oh, now, okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
while all the other sorority girls film it and laugh.
Oh, geez. Well,
Yeah.
that's just showing how cruel people can be to missionaries, which is sadly true.
But it also conveniently gets you the scene of showing the garments on film.
Okay,
for the audience.
okay.
Yeah.
Only they and God know their hearts.
So the sisters are going along, and obviously Sister Cute, who is the one who had her skirt pulled down, is very sad and disturbed by this, and so she's trying to just keep herself composed as they're going to this appointment. And then she tells Sister Smart, "People think we're weird." "What do you mean?" "I don't know. That South Park musical kind of makes fun of us. I downloaded some of the songs. They're pretty funny, actually." So right after her companion gets her skirt pulled down on film, Sister Smart decides it's the right time to tell her that the South Park film is funny.
Interesting. We'd like to welcome to the studio now, fresh from having dropped off the children at soccer practice, Brittany the Shadow, prettiest commentator on the internet, who is also going to give her opinion as to whether or not she thinks some of these things are tropes. Now, I'm got your microphone on now, babe. Got your microphone on, babe. Oh, hold on. I got the wrong microphone on. There we go. Now I got your microphone on, Brittany.
Hallelujah.
Pardon, I'm also a commentator on the internet.
Yeah. Yes.
She was the
yes, you are.
I'm
In a wig, you would look great with that goatee, bro. You know what I'm saying? All right, keep going, man. Keep going.
All right, so they did about that. And then it's just like, "You're awesome. Thanks." They get to the house. Okay. As they're approaching the house, they say Sister Smart says, "We got a text from Sister Hall. She says we're not supposed to be meeting this guy." Now, this part makes no sense because why are they getting this text? First of all, how do the mission, whoever Sister Hall is, it doesn't explain. How do they know that the sister missionaries are going to his house today? And then also, why does this text come right when they show up on the door, other than for the plot? It's kind of dumb.
Hey, creative license. Maybe it's creative license. Okay.
It's kind of lazy. All right, so, we're not supposed to go here. All right, well, we're going to do it anyways because, they said maybe he's outside of the stake boundaries. Like the missionaries won't know what their area is or something. And they should say the ward boundaries, not the stake boundaries. So they got that wrong.
Okay.
And then, so they're debating whether they should go in or not. And then Sister Cute says, "If I can convert the one guy that no one else in the ward can convert," because they said don't go to his house because he's not serious. He just wants to mess with you.
Okay.
In the text. And so Sister Paxton, low. So she says, "If I can convert the one guy no one else in the ward can convert, that would be huge for my salvation."
What?
What?
That's weird.
Wait. What's the line? What's it actually say?
I just read it, Cardin.
Read that again.
Read it.
Read that again.
She says it low. So they're whispering this to each other on the doorstep when they're deciding whether to stay or not. And she says, "If I can convert the one guy no one else in the ward can convert, that would be huge for my salvation."
This is so goofy. What?
Okay, nowhere in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the very important and good missionary work, there's only two institutions in North America that convert men into boys. It's the U.S. military and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints missionary program. All right. And there's a lot of volunteer missionaries that on their own dime go out and they do their best to represent the faith as best they can, serve their fellow man, and teach those that are interested in the church. Door knocking is actually a very small fraction of how you spend your time. Mostly you're actually engaged in service and or teaching people who have come to the church seeking answers for life's deepest questions, not going out to try and find people. But we're never told that there's like your salvation is dependent upon you baptizing people, that it's not a multi-level marketing scam. There's no like bonus. There's no like, I don't know what else to compare it to that people are maybe trying to think it is. We definitely think that there's blessings, there's joy. There's lots of scriptures that talk about, oh, how great will be your joy if you bring one unto Christ and so on and so forth. But we don't leverage your freaking salvation, okay, on your performance as a young person in the Western secularized world at getting the weird guy in Ward Boundaries
It's
to
almost
actually
like
convert.
they got us confused with Scientology, right? Like you have to level up, right? You have to go clear. It's almost like, oh, if I convert that guy, I'll go up another level.
Well,
like
going
an MLM
clear-
or like a Scientology thing. I don't know.
Well, Going Clear was one of the books that they say they consulted in. Therefore, the rituals represented were correct. And it doesn't look like they're representing any kind of Scientologist missionaries that I could see. Therefore,
So
I
they're
kind of
going
wonder.
after religion, but using our missionaries as the symbol.
Yeah, anti-Mormon rule number 4 is thou shalt co-opt other churches' scandals onto the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So they're always trying to co-opt the Catholic abuse scandal onto the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, saying, oh, they don't protect children, even though statistically children are no more protected in any religion in the United States of America better than in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And they always try and co-opt like the Scientology abuse scandals, especially that happened in like the camps here in California and stuff, by saying, I don't know, like youth camp and Boy Scouts is oppressive, right? So anyway, keep going, Luke, keep going. I want more smoking guns like
Okay,
the garment thing.
Also,
What?
I am here now. Have you gone over super chats?
Yes, we are all caught up on super
Well,
chats.
Minor Prophet Ian Malcolm needs.
Oh, why
So
don't you
we
read?
are not all caught up.
Yeah, so read Minor Prophet Ian Malcolm and catch us up, man.
Okay. He says it's A24. I don't know what that means. It doesn't have to make sense. And also, I called the showing garments thing months ago when the trailer came out. Woot.
Okay.
And Jacob Hansen did too.
Really?
Yep. And let's also welcome Nicole Terry to the basic telestial ticket with
Oh.
a W in the chat.
All right. Thank you, Nicole.
Hi,
W's?
Nicole.
W's all around. All right, keep going, Luke. Keep going, Luke.
All right. So if I can convert him, that'd be great for my salvation. And then we have bad guy. Okay. So bad guy comes to the door.
Okay.
The conversation's a little awkward, but this is actually when I think the script starts to pick up and start to get good. I think the point is that the bad guy is supposed to kind of have a weird way of talking where he kind of controls the conversation because he's always veering off into other topics and then bringing it back and then veering off. And I like it. And seeing the way that Hugh Grant was acting it in the script, this makes it look like this part of the film is going to be like the solid part of the film.
Okay.
But
cool,
what happens
cool.
here is Sister Paxton just keeps trying to run.
Oops, sorry. That was the trailer.
Sister Paxton just keeps trying to run the script. So like without even, hello, how are you? You know, who are you? Anything. She's just like, so there was this guy called Joseph Smith and he started talking about something else. And then she tries to get back on script. And so then after Joseph Smith did this, then the Book of Mormon did, and then he goes off script and then she goes on. So it's just kind of like the missionaries are, I don't know, cartoons or like here's Sister Cute. She says, it tells all the ways that Heavenly Father can reveal his gospel. Then Mr. Reed says, thank you so much, and tries to hand him back the booklet. Then Sister Cute says, as part of his plan, God chose prophets such as Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses. Mr. Reed says, it's very cold. Can I offer? Then Sister Cute, in parentheses, nothing's going to stop the pitch. Prophets teach about God and receive revelation. They teach the gospel to the world and interpret the word of God. And then Mr. Bad Guy says, would you care to warm up inside? And Sister Cute just keeps continuing while he's trying to talk to her. And because of apostasy, people lose knowledge of the gospel.
That's a lot of info.
Yeah, so anywhere in the script does it say, for example, that all of this gish gallop and all of this rushed presentation is meant to show that she's socially awkward or insecure.
Well, no,
This is
she needs to baptize him for her salvation.
So it doesn't say that maybe this is just like character development because they're just trying to show a very insecure person.
No.
And we're going to need an insecure person later on in the movie as part of the plot. You think this is just them representing that missionaries at large are just doing this, that this is the way missionaries are?
It appears so, yeah.
Oof. Okay. Rough.
Or at least like the new ones, and then the smart, edgy ones who aren't sure if the church is true don't do that and actually have normal conversations.
Later on is smart, edgy girl.
Well,
the
earlier in the script when they have the conversation, the young, naive Sister Cute is like, "You do believe it's true, right?" And the other one's like, "Yeah." And then it like zooms in on her face, and you know that she doesn't quite believe it all the way.
So was the condom commercial earlier in the book allegorical to
allegorical?
Allegorical, yeah. Was the two sister missionaries walk up and they see the condom commercial on the bench, and one of them says, "Oh, I think it's marketing and it's not a big deal," and the other one's like, has whatever edgy comment is. Do we realize that was kind of like foreshadowing what was going to happen later, where, again, the only person that survives and is fit for survival is the one that doesn't believe because you're stupid and naive if you believe? Do you feel like that's the general trope here? Or do you feel that like they were really just creating characters and showing a difference between faith and disbelief? Like, because there's a difference in attitude there.
Well, yeah, so it's the more faithful, believing girl is kind of naive and doesn't know anything, but is repressing feelings because she's grinding her teeth. Appears to be what they're trying to get across. And then the smart, edgy girl is a lot more intelligent and can actually carry on a conversation with people, but isn't going to firmly say that she believes the church is true. That's kind of how it goes. So they're doing this thing, and then we see in the trailer, he's like, "Oh, well, why don't you come inside? It's starting to rain outside." Actually, in the script, it's snow, but in the trailer, it's rain. But kind of same plot point. And my wife is making a pie, all the same things. So they come into the house and they have the conversation you see in the trailer where he starts telling him about how it's really important for people to have a faith. And I think it's really good to have something that you believe. And the Sister Cute says, "Well, our work here is done." And they kind of laugh because she's finally gotten out of her script and is talking to him normally now that he's kind of broken her out of the script that she's trying to run. And he tells them when they walk into the house, the walls have metal in them. I hope you're okay with that. And they're like, I don't know what he means, but sure. And so they keep on talking. And
the walls have metal in them?
Like, yeah, the walls have metal in them. Yeah, the walls have metal in them.
Okay.
Weird.
So, and then he kind of starts like monologuing to them that there are so many distractions. First it was theater, then it was symphony, the novel, video games, and now you're right, social media. I say this with no judgment. It is neither good nor bad. It is just true. And so he kind of like starts monologuing about the importance of belief, the importance of faith, how different things throughout society have detracted for that, but we need to dive into things. And he kind of reveals that he has a very marked up Book of Mormon, and he knows kind of everything about the church that there is to know. And then he asks them, "Oh, but Sister Paxton," I'm sorry, then Sister Paxton is trying to run the script again still a little bit. So when she sees that he has a Book of Mormon and is talking about it, she says, "Oh, well, now that you've been studying the Book of Mormon, how does it make you feel?" So kind of like this feelings alone, which isn't all the way a trope because we do emphasize that, but it's more like, have you studied it?
That's 1/5 of the epistemology. Kind of recognizing your feelings about something is part of the equation, but it's not the equation. So,
and it's more than feel. It's like to study it, pray about it with sincerity, and then see if God speaks to you in your heart. Yeah. So they kind of touch on that a little bit. They explained Joseph Smith a little weird to him. She said, Joseph Smith had trouble deciding which form of Christianity was right for him. He investigated many different denominations. None of them quite fit right, which is why he founded our church. So that's a weird way of explaining it. The level of depth that they went into. I don't know if they just did it for script purposes, or are you trying to say something, Jonah?
Well, because that presentation removes any miracle out of it. It just sounds like he's just plotting. He's just like, there's no good church. I'll start my own.
Yeah.
When our story is
also maybe it's just secular people using secular language because
it's actually gonna play into the script later.
Okay.
The way that
interesting.
the writers are having the missionaries explain it in a way here that's going to fit with what they say in the script later.
Okay.
Is the way that they're doing it.
Excellent.
And so what's funny, and then Sister Cute. So Sister Cute kind of burst out in the middle of a conversation when they're talking about how Sister Smart's dad dies of Lou Gehrig's disease. Oh, and the missionaries, like, also, she didn't know that her father died. She's like, oh, my father was sick. Oh, is he better now? So it's this really weird, like, are these missionaries just together today? Or have they just never had these conversations about how many baptisms you had?
Or they're wildly
and is your dad
insensitive.
still alive? yeah. I don't know. But Sister Cute says, when I die, I want to come back briefly as a butterfly and go to people I know and land on their fingertip. Right on their fingertip, not on their arm, not on their elbow, their shoulder, on their fingertip, so they know that it's me. That's kind of like a random comment that she says.
Legit. I'd like
Okay.
to do
Oh,
that.
don't tell me that girl gets killed. Let me guess. Sister Cute is the one that wanted to land as a butterfly because it's okay to represent the cute and naive ones as having cute ideals. But only the cynical one who's not stupid because she doesn't believe, she's the only one that escapes. And then there's a moment at the end of the movie where a butterfly lands on her finger to show her that it's her, which hopefully makes it so she character arcs out of disbelief and also shows that
Carden, you ruined the ending.
is that what happens?
Or the movie ruined the ending.
Oh, okay. No,
We'll see. So he's given them some
Okay.
Coke and they haven't had it because the conversation's going on. And so then the bad guy says, I should have offered water. The word of wisdom forbids caffeine and alcohol. That's my mistake. So that's another check.
Coffee, tea, tobacco.
That's another check. But the
tobacco.
weird thing is he's supposed to be like some super level genius that has learned all about all the religions, and then he like gets the caffeine thing wrong. So I don't know. I'm not sure what this is doing in the script, but
Yeah, he does. I drink Diet Coke like water, so.
yeah, it's weird that he, for some reason, either is pretending like he doesn't know that about the religion, or he actually didn't know that. I don't know, but the sisters do correct him. So it's not like that trope stays in there. They correct him, but it just doesn't quite make sense in the script if you're trying to build up this bad guy as somebody that knows everything. And then
30 seconds before we pause for super chat. So last scene before we pause for super chat.
So then he says, is it all right if I ask you guys a sensitive question? And they say, well, we wouldn't know until you asked. And so then he starts grilling them about polygamy. All right, now we can go to super chats.
Has anybody gotten a bingo yet?
I don't have a bingo card because I showed up late.
I made you a bingo card, Brittany.
Thanks,
I made you one.
Jonah.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, can you catch us up on the super chats? Brittany, keep us at the chats.
I think we are caught up. I think.
No.
Danny Gray, he upgraded his membership to Celestial.
All right. Rock on. Also, we've got Tanner Wilcox says, Carden, have you considered sitting down with Douglas Wilson? I'd love to hear you two talk about what you guys have in common. Who's that, guys? Forgive me. Should I know?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. It sounds like a nice guy, I guess.
Wait,
Sure.
you guys don't know someone and I do?
Oh, no. Yeah,
Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know him either.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to feel like I did for 1 second.
That was pretty good, babe. Then Danny Gray upgrades his membership, and Minor Prophet Ian Malcolm says A20. It's A24.
I already read
doesn't
that
have
one.
to. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah, so he grills them about polygamy for a while, and he gives what I assume is the Fawn Brody explanation for polygamy, where like Joseph Smith wrote a op-ed not under his name defending polygamy in Kirtland to hide his affair with Fanny Alger. It gets like very specific in the script, and
someone had a bone to pick.
Yeah, I
Fanny
think that's
Alger
like I think that's like a Fawn Brody thing that the history hasn't really borne out as a plausible theory. But he pitches that to them.
Now, by the way, while we're talking Fawn Brody, we don't have to go down a complete rabbit hole here. But Jonah Barnes, didn't you say something about how like Fawn Brody's biographies that were regarded as quite accurate for a long time have kind of been have had a little bit of a fall from grace, especially hers about Thomas Jefferson that preceded Joseph Smith. She was notorious for her First biography being one of Thomas Jefferson before writing No Man Knows My History, which is one of the cited works of this script. Didn't you say that like Fawn Brody's Thomas Jefferson biography has also had a big fall from grace?
Yeah, so in her biography of Thomas Jefferson, she posits the theory that Thomas Jefferson had an illegitimate child with his slave, Sally Hemings, I think is her name. And that for decades was what was taught, was that Joseph Smith had an illegitimate child through his slave. Then...
Not Joseph Smith, you mean Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
But then more recent DNA research has revealed that actually that is not true. That the DNA research done in the 80s only matches the illegitimate child to someone of the Jefferson family. And Randolph Jefferson was a philanderer that they all knew about. He was in town. Thomas Jefferson was in Paris at the time this child was conceived. So now they believe that Fawn Brody was incorrect. Thomas Jefferson did not conceive an illegitimate child with his slave. It was rather his cousin or brother or somebody who did it, and Thomas Jefferson has taken all the blame for it in all our public school history classes. So
all of obviously our word upon an indentured servant or somebody who's being human trafficked is horrible no matter who it is, and is non-permissible and a shameful thing. But some of the suppositions laid out by Fawn Brody that were probably the most pejorative, shall we say, seem to have been incorrect, which might make somebody reasonably surmise that some of these pejoratives against Joseph Smith, and by the way, I'm not saying Fawn Brody had ill intent. I've never read the book. Who knows? Maybe she was just a woke scold of the 40s. Maybe she was a woman doing her very best. I'm not sure. But it seems like we can take her biography of Joseph Smith with at least a grain of salt, because the things I've read that she has said about Joseph Smith have just not held water compared to what I've studied from people like Don Bradley, Hugh Nibley, so on and so forth. And it kind of just makes me think, I don't trust this person. And it does seem like there was some kind of ill motive, especially as I've gotten to know these people more by podcasting in this medium. So keep going, Luke, let's go.
All right. So they keep talking about polygamy. And of course, Sister Smart is like, oh, is that true that you're saying? And then Sister Cute is like, that doesn't sound right. I'm not sure where you're getting this from. And then bad guy says, it's an intellectual barrier for me because if revelation from God is filtered through man, and man is flawed, and man lies, and man sins, then how do we know any of it is true? And then Sister Cute, of course, says, we know it's true because of how it makes us feel. So doing that thing.
So the archetype of Christopher Hitchens, who is cited as
this
the
is like Christopher
books.
Hitchens' dream debate companion.
Yeah, so
right
Christopher Hitchens shows up, and then so the best atheist shows up and gets a great soundbite, but then the best believer doesn't show up and is made to look naive and stupid. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Sister Smart says, let us talk with our bishop about some of the points you're raising. And he kind of monologues a little bit again about how he had searched all these religions and couldn't find the true one. But then, you know what I learned? And the girls are silent. And he said, the more you know, the less you know. And then he blows out the candle. And the room gets a little darker.
Huh.
And then he says, by the time I turned 30, I was malnourished by the fast food of religion. I had been feeding my brain for a decade. Every sect, creed, cult, or denomination claimed to represent the one true doctrine, and yet none of them seemed true when held under a microscope. And it made me wonder what else is out there. I promise you, the last thing I wanted to do was discover the one true religion. Pause.
Pain.
No, pause.
Suffering.
Carton.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm
sorry.
trying to read this.
Sorry.
Okay. It made me wonder what else is out there. I promise you, the last thing I wanted to do was discover the one true religion. But unfortunately, I did.
Dude, this sounds literally like the Raging Expos that post a telephone Facebook, like Facebook post about how like, dude, it wasn't until like I discovered like the true history after years of agonizing research. Oh, you mean like you read 4 pages of an online PDF and now all of a sudden you consider yourself like you're
so
just
you ready for the comments?
You're so just like, whoa, like that guy that published that book saying you better have a robust support group for the faith crisis that I'm going to cause in this book. Okay, wow. What are the comments?
So now the notes of the script after he says that unfortunately he found the true religion. There is a darkness to that last line that hangs in the room. We may even hear the uncomfortable shifting of audience members in their seats. So they're very impressed with the script that they wrote here. And I'm sure I actually kind of like this part. He seems like the actor gives me confidence that he could pull this off pretty well. But it is just kind of funny, like how impressed they are with themselves for what they wrote here.
Okay.
And so then the sister missionaries are like, "Can we meet your wife, please? Like, this is getting a little weird." And so he goes to like check on the wife and check on the pie. And that's when the camera slowly pans down and reveals that the candle he just blew out was the blueberry pie candle. And he has been deceiving them and luring them in.
Wow. So,
I bet his house smelled nice.
Yeah. If this was AI or a fake, we're going to have to eat some crow. Actually not eat some crow because we've represented this well. You know what I'm saying? But it's either amazing guerrilla marketing on behalf of A24 to get a podcast to say, hey, this is anti-Mormon, to rile up a bunch of members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to, who knows, maybe even go watch it, create your own little Streisand effect. This is either 4D chess, not even 3D chess, okay? This is either 4D chess where all of us are going to have to say, yeah, they took us for a ride. Now, not too much of a ride because we've said nothing is off the table. Nothing is off the table. We have not misrepresented this as anything other than a script that we received from an anonymous source that claims to be this, and we're reading the words on the pages. Okay, so we have not misrepresented this. But also kind of part of me does think, though, like, I would not want to think that Beck and Woods were actually trying to make a religion look stupid unless they actually had an animus against it. And sometimes I think members of our faith can honestly be hypersensitive towards some things. I think members of all faiths can be kind of hypersensitive towards some things. And all of us, if we're in a pluralist society, have to be able to laugh at some of our own jokes and some of the low-hanging fruit. Look, I'm a stand-up comedian. If I had $1 for every time somebody had low-hanging fruit about a polygamy joke, like, I'd be a bazillionaire, right? So I can't get pissed and make everybody walk around on eggshells, okay? At the same time, this kind of seems like one of those things in society that we've all mutually frowned upon. Like, you wouldn't make a bunch of rabbis look stupid, unless it was a comedy written by Jews where the Jews are the heroes and the stupid rabbis are the villains, and, there's equal number of heroes and equal number of villains. But we just wouldn't have a bunch of tropes represented by that religion over there because we've kind of agreed that, hey, that's somewhat off the table, right? So, I mean, I don't know. Are you sensing, do you really sense this is animus, or do you think it's just ignorance to how things really are, and Mormons are one of the only people that are still active in their religion left, so we had to use Mormons because we were trying to make an anti-religious film?
I just think that they put in the tropes as like entertainment for the audience. And so the audience is also like, oh yeah, this totally makes sense to me because this is like what society has told me the Mormons are like. And so they just accept it even though it's actually kind of ridiculous.
Huh. Okay, interesting.
I've never claimed that it's like animus against us. Like they wrote this whole thing just to make us look stupid.
Okay.
And there is an interesting...
But they're exploiting tropes, you feel?
Well, and there's the interesting question... Yeah, they're exploiting tropes for the purposes of the entertainment. But there is the question of like, but it's the bad guy saying all these things. So is it trying to say that this Christopher Hitchens stuff is bad because the bad guy's saying it? Or it was just a convoluted way of getting these ideas out there? I don't know.
Okay.
It gets a little weird. It hasn't gotten weird yet, actually. So they pan down to the camera very slowly. And then they see the blueberry pie. And then it cuts away. and you see this town kind of battening down for the storm starting to come in.
Rock on.
And then it shows the Mormon church. So then the Mormon church is there in the storm, and then it shows the inside of the Mormon church. And there are 2 ward missionaries discussing a clipboard with Elder Kennedy, 40s, male. I don't know what this is. I don't know what calling this is supposed to be. Like, if they're having a missionary coordination meeting, the missionaries are supposed to be there. But anyway, Elder Kennedy is saying, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, are they still out? Yes. One of the missionaries says, after consulting their notes, they like printed out the missionary schedule or something. This part makes no sense, but you're going to see why it's here, because they need this for the plot to work, and it still doesn't work very well.
Okay.
And so they say they're on their way to their Oak Point meeting now. It's close, so weather won't be a problem.
Okay.
So, and then it cuts back to his house.
Okay.
So people in the Mormon church are like tracking the missionaries for some reason and are discussing if they're going to be okay in the storm. Cuts back to the sisters. And Mr. Reed tells them that his wife is ready for them and starts to go down the hallway. And this
is where the trailer started getting good, bro.
Yeah, okay. So he goes down the hallway and is gone. And the sisters are kind of like, we need to get out of here. Like, so they pretend that they have a phone call. So instead of following him to go meet his wife, they pretend that they have a phone call. And so they stay back. He goes down the hallway and is just over there. And they're trying to call people and it's not working. And then they try the door and it doesn't work. And then they see that it's like deadbolted. And so they go into the room and, you know, pretending that they were still on the phone. They go into the room and say, somebody called us. We need to go. Sorry, it's been nice. We have to cut it short. Maybe we can come back. And, when they looked out, they realized that their bikes, the lock on their bikes was gone. Because they were like, we need our coats to get the the bike lock out. Actually, yeah, they need the coats to get the bike lock. The bike lock is gone. What's going on here? So they have this whole conversation with him of like, we got a call, we need to go, da-da-da-da-da. And then finally he's like, we don't need to pretend. Is Jonah trying to say something? Are you muted? Okay.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to pretend.
I'm just mumbling at how ridiculous this all is under my breath.
Well, here, can we get to, I mean, unfortunately, we're already 1.5 hours in.
I know,
here.
that's why I was trying to get into this.
We don't have to rehearse the whole movie.
All right.
I want to hear the meat.
All right, I'm sitting back like this. All right, Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
So, he says, we don't need to pretend anymore. I told you the walls have metal in them. You can't get a cell phone signal in here. So I know that you're lying. Just like, chill with that. And they're like, okay, well, how about we just meet your wife and then go? And he's like, why are you still pretend? You know my wife's not here. You saw the blueberry pie candle. Stop pretending. We don't need to do this anymore. And they're like, okay, well, can we please just go? Yes, you may. Those 2 doors go out. Those doors go out? Yes, they go out. Okay. What do we have to do? Nothing. You can leave. But if you're cool to hang around, I want to tell you something first. And they're like, okay. And so then he gives them this whole presentation. He actually has a whole wall full of like ancient Egyptian, ancient Mesopotamian, the bad guy with like all his ancient art on the wall. And he takes them through and explains to them how here's a game, here's Monopoly. And he puts it on, it's like a church. This room is like a church. Okay. And so he has an altar and he puts Monopoly on the altar. And he says, you've heard of this before, yes? Well, what about this one? And he puts the landlord game on. And they say, no. He's like, but I think you have. Because this girl actually was the one that made the landlord game. And then a guy stole it from her and made the game Monopoly with it. And that's what became popular. And then so Judaism is like the landlord game. And Christianity is like Monopoly. And then Islam and he puts another later version of Monopoly out. So Islam is like the not as popular one, but still a classic. And then this one, and he puts out Bob Ross Monopoly. And he said, this one is the quirky regional spinoff, and that one's Mormonism. And so he puts each of the sacred texts of each of these religions with the corresponding Monopoly game.
Wait, he specifically targets Mormonism as the
only
quirky
being in
regional.
the U.S. So the regional, so it's only in the U.S. By the way, both the missionaries are from Utah. You can mark that off your bingo sheet if it's there. Yeah, one's from Salt Lake and one's from Orem.
See, this is what I'm talking about here. See, now this is like, okay.
We had to get through the first 15 pages to like explain all the stuff that they did to set it up. And
Okay.
so then he takes him through this whole thing of like all religions are just iterations of each other. So they just like change things. And actually, if you go back to Egypt, look at this God. He was born on December 25th and he had 12 disciples. And then he got killed and rose after 3 days. And then look at this one over here. He performed miracles and he also had 12. And so it's like a TikTok. I've seen these TikToks.
It's like
before.
the people that read Joseph Campbell's A Hero with 1,000 Faces and then all of a sudden think that they've conquered God in 265 pages.
Dude, for their disclaimer at the end of the script, they should have just said, "We watched TikTok." There you go. And then the whole thing.
Yeah, I've seen like debunkings for these on TikTok. And so, yeah, he's like, all these things are just iterations of each other. And people are just updating it and making their own religions and all that kind of stuff. And he does like this whole presentation to the sisters. And then the sisters say, well, Jesus actually lived. And then he said, yes, but that's not the problem. Jesus lived and died, but did he live again? And we don't have evidence for that. And the sisters just don't give him any. They're really bad at apologetics, these sisters.
Yeah, but that's literally from, like, they're constantly making fun whenever they get a Christian in their debate saying, well, can we talk about a real person? Like a historical person, and they always try and do these sort of like, we literally have as much evidence. We have more evidence for Jesus Christ than we do some theories about how far Alexander the Great made it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm sorry, there was no CCTV back then, but there's reasonable inferences from an overabundance of evidence that can be gleaned from the ancient world that crafts a narrative in which serious scholars do not think that Jesus Christ was just some fictitious story. I'm sorry, the apostles were not beheaded and crucified upside down because of some mutual hallucination done with shrooms. Okay, so keep going.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I hope my audio is a little better here. I switched to my phone, but congratulations to our first bingo. We are barely 20 minutes into this movie script, and we already have a bingo. Brittany. Actually, her board has the first bingo. I don't know if you've been keeping track of Brittany, but I sure have.
Well, who won? Who won the bingo?
I think me. That's what he just said.
Well, no. There has to be. It's a member of our channel that won, right? Because we were going to give away a free T-shirt. Did I say I was going to give away a free T-shirt for whoever gets bingo first?
I actually don't know if you did.
Oh crap! I didn't say the prize for the bingo.
I get another T-shirt. Woohoo!
Yeah. Okay.
Hey!
All right.
Well, anyways. Brittany's bingo board has a bingo on it, but carry on.
Okay, cool. All right, keep going.
There you go. All right, so he gives them the spiel. They don't push back at all. They notice a box cutter, and one of the sister missionaries, at some point in this whole conversation that happens, manages to snag it. It's actually when he's emphasizing a point, he knocks over all the religious texts. He's like, these aren't special at all. They're just special because people say they're special. Bam, and like knocks over the altar and makes everything go flying. So while she's going and picking them up, she smuggles like a box cutter. Okay. And then he tells them, all right, here's 2 doors, belief and unbelief. And I want you to pick the one that goes down that actually represents your faith. And so Sister Cute is like, Sister Smart, let's go down the one. We've had a nice talk with him. Let's go down the right one. And she's at the disbelief door. And then Sister Smart is actually the one that says, no, it looks like they're both going down to the same place anyways, because they've opened them and see that they're just parallel staircases down. It looks like they're going to the same place anyway. He's just messing with us. He's going to think that he's going to have us pick that door. So we should just pick this one. And we say we believe in God anyways. And they're trying to be combative. They're like, he's so smart. And this is what I was talking to Cardin about earlier today with the new atheist. It's like he gives them a little 5-minute TikTok video worth of why religions are all wrong. And the sister missionaries are like, oh, he's so smart. How do we beat him?
We can't handle his TikTok knowledge.
They're like, he's so smart. We have to try to debate him. We have to do anything. We're in a fight for our lives, but he's so intelligent. What are we going to do? And so they pick the faith door. And so they go down into the basement and pick the faith door.
This is like a nerdy escape room.
And he closes.
Well, it's a good premise. It's a good premise. If they didn't go all,
I actually like this part of the movie because it's kind of dumb that the sister missionaries are like, oh my gosh, he's so intelligent. That part's like, okay. But this is the bad guy saying that. So I'm actually fine with the bad guy making Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins look bad, even though I think the point is that the audience is trying to actually think deeply about what he's saying, but he's the bad guy, so I'm cool with him saying dumb things. So they go down the faith door. He locks it behind them, and he tells them they're going to see a miracle. I found the one true religion, and so you're going to go through these doors and you're going to see the miracle. So that's in the trailer. Be not afraid. You're going to witness a miracle. So they go down there, and he's speaking to them through like a metal tube going down. So he's locked upstairs, and then they're downstairs, and there's this old woman in the room, very old, decrepit woman,
like the Bates Motel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I'm liking this movie.
And there's the blueberry pie on the table, so there actually is the pie. And so he's like,
oh, okay.
He's like, I need you guys are the first ones to go through the belief door. I don't know how that worked. I don't know how he got found out, but
so he had other missionaries, and he's trying to say that all the other missionaries are hypocrites and don't believe. But
the plot doesn't really make sense unless he's lying to them and just saying that they're the first ones. But okay. I don't know.
No, to me it would, because it would be a massive call out of all the other religions.
But how would he have not gotten found out if he kept killing a ton of people in his house?
Because he's sneaky.
Yeah,
no.
Okay,
fine.
Like, tell me you're a Gen Xer without telling me you're a Gen Xer by making the Gen Xer atheist like archetype the smartest guy in the room, because somehow in the 90s and the early 2000s we all figured out that like atheism was so cool and smart. Never mind that all it did was clear the field, the monopoly board, dare I say, for wokeism to come in and do all the garbage that James Lindsay proved it was going to do, and then ruin all of our IP. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So the missionaries are down there, and they're with the old lady, and they're like, okay, if he ever comes down here, we need to like have a code word for if I'm going to stab him.
Okay.
And they give it to Sister Cute to stab him, because she wouldn't expect, you wouldn't expect Sister Cute to stab him. You'd expect Sister Smart. So they give like the box cutter to Sister Cute, and the key word that they're going to use to signal that they're going to go for it is magic underwear. So when we yell magic underwear, that's when we're going to try and stab this guy. Not joking.
It's a little long for a code name. You're going to give yourself
not
away.
Not Tiancum?
Mahonrai Moriankum?
No, magic underwear.
Yes, could have been Tiancum.
I could have given you 15 better, both historically and doctrinally accurate slay words, shall we call them, had they hired me as a consultant in 30 seconds. I don't know. Nephi, sword of Laban. It's better that one man die and then an entire nation dwindle in unbelief. Tiancum.
Make it a trillion.
So in terms of the plot, I think like the whole reason, I think the scriptwriters were like, oh, we're so smart, because when these sorority girls come and pull her skirt down and laugh at her garments, we're setting up the key magic word that they're going to use to signal to each other, while also explaining how they feel bad about their faith. And so we're doing two things in one, so therefore it's a good script. That seems like what their thought process was on this.
They should have said ammon. So slaughter those limbs. That's what we should have said.
Hey, good one.
All right,
Bert.
so
Thanks.
now here comes the miracle, because he says he's found the true religion. And so the prophet, the old lady is the prophet, and she's going to die and come back to life. You're going to witness a resurrection, basically. And so he gives her like the signal, and the old lady goes over, and it's all creepy and everything, and she starts eating the pie. It's like, wah, in her face. And then she seizes up and dies, and he, through the speaking tube, says it's a family recipe that has nightshade in it. So he poisons the old lady to death. And then he's like, and I need you here as somebody who went through the faith door to witness this, to like confirm my tests.
Wait, I'm sorry. And who's the random old lady?
You don't know anything. He just calls her the prophet. Well, yeah,
Okay.
he says like his wife, but that's just like the gimmick. And now that they've seen her, he starts calling her the prophet. So the prophet is going to die, and she's going to resurrect and tell us what she's seen. Okay.
Because prophets are just weird, psychopathic, old people tortured into...
He's misgendering the prophet, okay? It's prophetess, okay? A24, you should be ashamed of yourself. We're canceling this movie.
That's all they're going to clip and say, religious zealots. You know what I'm saying? All right, keep going.
Alrighty, so then she dies, and he has the girls go over and check that she's dead. She does like a little twitch, and they're like, that's like the jump scare in the movie. Oh no, they're just like death throes or something. And so then he's like waiting waiting, nothing's happening, and then there's a knock on the door upstairs.
Well, that's a lot of pages you just flipped. That's a lot of waiting.
All these pages I'm flipping is the whole spiel that he gave them about all the Egyptian gods and Egyptians coming down from each other.
Nerdy.
We're over halfway into the script now. A lot of that conversation upstairs is like a third of the movie.
P.S. Can you imagine if Cardin was like the character battling Hugh Grant, like battle of the nerds and knowledge, and no one would go through the door because they would just be stuck in a conversation.
I would just talk their ears off. Yeah. I'd be like, yo, bro, these are all stupid tropes. Metal walls? What? Yeah, I know 15 prophets that could bust these doors down right now. No,
Seriously.
He gives him a little spiel on, he tells him like, these are all just iterations of each other. So maybe one day Jar Jar Binks will be a religious canon thing.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, Jar Jar Binks, Star Wars references. He gives him a discourse on selfie sticks and how bad companies convince people to use selfie sticks. And he says, we don't worship people who challenge us to be our best. We worship people who give us permission to be our worst. So religion is an excuse for evil.
Does.
Yep. That's one of the things. Okay. All right. So now the lady is dead. There's a knock at the door. Bad guy goes to the door, and it's the Elder Kennedy, who is just like tracking the missionaries' movement from the chapel randomly, who shows up at just the right time for the plot to happen. So this is where the plot kind of falls apart a little bit.
What did he do? Stick like an air tag in her purse?
I don't know.
What? Because the only thing I don't get is earlier on they said, let's go ask our bishop. Bishops don't control missionaries.
Yeah.
That's not the way it works. Yeah. You don't have to report to teacher. Sometimes you're 50, 100, 500 miles away from, frankly, any governing body. There's an insane amount of trust that is given to these 19 to 20-year-old men and women. Like, Jonah, at one point, how far were you in Siberia from pretty much anybody telling you what to do?
Oh, boy. Let's see if I can calculate it. What's the difference between Chita, Siberia, to Novosibirsk? Let's see here. Looks like that was 2,805 kilometers. So that's, 1,200, 1,300 miles away from my nearest leader.
Yeah.
So you could walk it barefoot backwards in the snow.
Yeah. Good job, bro. Yeah. Good job. Well, these people couldn't make it 1,200 feet from their oppressive middle-aged patriarch. So, wow. All right, keep going.
So he answers the door. The lady's dead, and they're waiting for her to come back to life. But then the Elder Kennedy, whoever that is, shows up right at the right time for the plot to happen. Bad guy goes to the door, and the missionaries sneak up the stairs and are like, we're going to scream at just the right time so he knows we're in here. But then they also notice that some of the carpet, like the big rug, is sticking under the door that they're at, so they can pull it through and get a thing of matches. So they do that while he's busy at the door. They try to scream, but it doesn't work. They go downstairs, and they're like, we're going to light a fire and, like, smoke out everything. So they run back downstairs, and they, like, are striking the matches and trying to light stuff on fire, but the matches aren't working. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Bad Guy shows up behind them. He snuck down the stairs while they were busy trying to light this fire. And he sneaks a jump scare again, and he easily lights a match while the sisters couldn't light it. That's going to show up later randomly. And
that's secular patriarchy.
He's enlightened. I'm so
you know
funny.
What? Maybe. And then he lights the match, and then the prophetess wakes up. So the dead lady wakes up that the missionaries confirmed was dead. Wakes up, and at first the missionaries
because that's all resurrection is just nightshade, naturalistic observations.
When they ran down the stairs, one of the sisters was like, she's in a different spot. No, I don't think she's in a different. No, she totally moved while we were gone. And so then they try to light it. He comes down, he can light the thing, and then the prophet that was dead wakes up, throws up pie all onto the fire that they were trying to light, and so that's out. And
Way
then
to go,
she
prophetess.
gives her message. She gives her message about a conductor and darkness and light and heaven and unplugging her brain, and this is not real. And then the missionaries are just absolutely terrified, and then Mr. Reed starts trying to do an investigation, like he has a notepad and he's asking him questions about what they saw to confirm this miracle that just happened, this resurrection that just happened. And in the course of this conversation, the sisters are like trying to combat him, trying to think of different things, and they end up deciding to try and do the attack. And so they say maybe it's a magic trick, and so the other one's like, oh, magic, that means the word is coming soon. And then the one sister missionary yells magic underwear, so Sister Cute goes to stab him, and we see the blood, and he, lightning fast bad guy, has stabbed Sister Smart. He's dodged Sister Cute and stabbed Sister Smart. And so Sister Cute is freaking out, and Sister Smart is bleeding out, and he's yelling, "Be not afraid, you will see a miracle." And they're like waiting. He's like, she's gonna come back, just like the prophet. You just saw it. She's gonna come back. And they're waiting. Nothing happens. And then he's like, uh-oh, something's wrong. Why isn't she coming back? And he cuts open her forearm, and he pulls out a microchip. And he says, this is what I was worried about. This is why I was testing. This is where it kind of goes off the rails. This is what I was testing. She isn't real. She's an NPC. And this microchip proves it. We're in a simulation. And I figured out that we have to kill ourselves to get out of the simulation. And so the prophet, I've been killing her and bringing her back, and she's been telling us. And that's why she said, this is not real. But I found this microchip, so your companion was actually an NPC.
I think I know what your brain feels like now when you do drugs. That's kind of like what this plot is doing to me. I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah. So now we're in simulation theory, which is also one of the books that they said they read on the back of the script.
Simulation simulacra, right?
Yep.
Wait, now, but before you go somewhere, Jonah, you're familiar with this publication. What's the premise of the publication? Like,
it was actually the inspiration for the greatest sci-fi movie of the past 30 years, which is The Matrix.
Okay, cool.
My favorite movie. So, about how everything is simulation, that you really experience everything just through electrical impulses sent to your brain. And so you can't know if anything is real because everything you know or think you feel is just electrical impulses to your brain. That's the idea.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Keep going.
So Sister Smart is dead. Sister Cute is being told about the simulation theory because of this microchip that was in Sister Smart's arm. And that's why the flame wasn't reacting properly to her, because they can't render the flames very well. I've done fire dynamics, actually. I researched it in college. It's very easy to simulate flame, and I don't know what an NPC next to a fire why that would cause a problem with it. But then Sister Cute actually starts to wise up. And she says, no, something's wrong here. I don't know what it is, but something's wrong. Oh, the prophet, the knock on the door where we went upstairs and tried to scream and get the matches and everything, you had a trap door and you switched out the dead lady for an alive one that also was so old and haggard that we just assumed it was the same person. And that's why it looked like she shifted when she was gone. Okay? And my companion, Sister Smart, that's not a microchip. That is birth control, a birth control implant. But our oppressive religion would have made her feel shameful about having birth control. So she didn't tell anybody about it.
Whoa, this is a trip.
Wow.
This is a trip. This is a trip, you guys.
Wait, so where are we on our bingo card here? Hold on.
I think I've won like twice already.
I'm looking at this bingo card. No, we've been hitting some serious bingo here. Look, here's Heretic Mormon cliches. I'm pulling this up so that everybody can see Heretic Mormon cliches. We've got bingo on religion as an evolutionary cope, bingo on closed-mindedness, we got a hit on religion as an evolutionary cope, closed-mindedness, extreme naivete, coffee, tea, tobacco, insecure faith, no secret lesbians yet, so no bingo there yet. Tyrannical leaders tyrannical leaders and blind obeisance. Yes. We don't have intolerance to LGBT yet. That's interesting. But plenty of profanity, patriarchy, sexual repression. Oh, and faith excuses evil. The bottom right corner there.
Yeah.
Gotta have the trope that faith excuses evil. Oh, and we do have Book of Mormon is fantasy. Have we had brainless feelings yet? Have we had brainless feelings? Because there's a bingo if we've had brainless feelings.
I'm pretty sure mine has a bingo right now. I checked them, and mine was the one that I found like the easiest bingo on. So mine.
Okay.
Yeah, mine might have it.
Okay, so we got a bingo. You want a shirt, bro. Okay.
Sister Cute.
But hey, can I just say, I'm feeling really good that my tropes made it. That I called it with this stupid garbage heap of a movie with my tropes. I called it.
I forgot to tell you guys, when he's talking about polygamy and they're like not answering his questions and it's really awkward, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry for my loud speaking. I apologize," which I think is supposed to be a loud laughter riff.
Oh god!
Like the way it's written. I forgot to mention that.
Is this like Under the Banner of Heaven? Like, do you remember when the Salt Lake City premiere of Under the Banner of Heaven, the horrible flop, was in Salt Lake City? All of the anti-Mormon ex-Mormons who've never had their 15 minutes of fame were showing up, and it was like a who's who of anti-Mormons, and they were all so happy that they were asked to be consultants on the Mormon movie. But all they did was try so desperately to shove in their straw men and have their little petty tyrannical settle their own little scores, their own little historical scores, that instead of making an interesting plot, they just ended up making this wildly uninteresting and boring gish gallop of, like, it was worse than the Charlie Brown musical in sense of just being like jarring and disjointed vignettes kind of put together. There was no
cringe chili.
Yeah, cringe chili. Perfect. Yeah. So is this now? You're a little bit more conservative than I am in terms of like your assessment of some of these things, but I do trust your assessment, Luke, because you're a sober and a good individual, and you're very artistic. You understand, like a musicality and a character arc and exposition, all this other stuff. Do you feel like this is destined for cringe chili, or is this salvageable?
I actually think if this was a earlier draft and they fixed this up a little bit and then worked on it in the editing bay, this could be an interesting movie. Because once again, it's the bad guy that's saying a lot of these things. But we've moved into like the faith and the resurrection and simulation theory and
as long as it's the bad guy saying the anti-Mormon tropes, well, there's Nazis in movies.
Yeah.
And if you need to make a bad guy, you have him just rattle off a couple of anti-Semitic tropes, and okay, we've established he's the bad guy, and in that case, it's not necessarily anti-Semitism. It's just exposition of a character and description of a character. So you can't just get offended because the character we're portraying as a bad guy said a bad thing. That's where I think the Christian right goes wrong in their analysis of art and cinema and of like Broadway plays and so on and so forth, is representation of a bad guy is not the same as veneration of a bad guy.
Yeah, yeah. But I see this, and all I hear from this is this, this is so bad, is this like reverse ventriloquism of the atheist, of the writer's own ideas. They wrote a movie backward. Okay, they were like, how can we just spout all this nonsense that we found on TikTok that makes us feel really smart, and people are going to be uncomfortable in their seats, and so they like shoehorn it in to the character's dialogue when it's so unnatural and it's so unrealistic. It's the most like trite and like slipshod, fingernail, depth, shallow way to write a movie. Instead of having your characters, trying to get the voice of your characters, they're trying to just use their characters for their own voice to say, it's all the simulation, all this, what garbage.
All right, so we have the trap door, and so the sister like goes over to the trap door, and that's how he has switched the bodies so that there was actually the dead old lady. And so the simulation theory shows up for like 3 minutes and then disappears. And now it's back onto, no, that was just a birth control thing that she was ashamed about because our religion is bad. And you switch the bodies out. And this is Sister Cute that's doing this. So now Sister Cute's like being the really smart, intelligent one and figured all this out in like 5 seconds, like Sherlock Holmes. And so she like gets away from the bad guy and runs down into the even lower level where this lady had come up from to switch the bodies out. And so she runs down there and she's running through, and then she's running through these hallways that represent like Satanism, witches, all these different like bad, quote unquote, bad religious paganism, all these different rooms with different color doors. And I don't know why, the script never explains why. And then she gets to the last door and it has their bike lock on it.
How big is this guy's house?
this is like the under catacombs of the house.
That's a good question.
And so she gets to it and the bike lock is on it. And then she realizes the bike lock is in her pocket when it was supposed to be in her companion's pocket. And she turns around and the bad guy is there. And he's like, have you figured it out now? Okay, so we've moved from all religions wrong and I'm going to show you a miracle because I found the real religion to like simulation theory to, okay, now we actually have arrived to the real answer. Okay? And so she's like, the reason why this bike key is in my pocket is because you knew that eventually I would be standing right here, right now. And so everything that happened the way it happened because you wanted it to happen that way. And so the religion is control. And he's like, yes, you almost got it. And then basically...
And he, for sure, no matter what, he's been established as the most smartest guy in the room because he has recognized that all religion, it's all just, the same sci-fi story repackaged a bunch of times with shiny new versions that end up being, the Bob Ross Monopoly set. Okay, I see here.
Yeah, so the real religion is control. And now you've finally figured out, except she hasn't figured it out all the way. Oh, and he's controlling these women. So like he says she chose to eat the poisonous pie, the prophet that died after eating the poisonous pie. She chose to eat poisonous pie because of her profound faith. It's called drinking the Kool-Aid, a phrase coined after 900 intelligent, upstanding members of Jonestown drink cyanide when their leader Jim Jones politely asked them to. Yes, I keep these women malnourished and hungry, but only for the same reason your church goes to Haiti to hand out Bibles after a hurricane. It's easier to control someone who has lost everything.
Huh.
So they have that conversation.
That's all we do. We just go to Haiti to hand out Bibles. Yeah, that's what we do.
Yep. And so then the bad guy continues.
Well, is there a redemption here? Like, okay, we get...
We're 6 pages left in the 120-page script.
Okay, no, but is he ultimately...
Just get through this.
Hold on. But is he ultimately revealed as being the bad guy and these are all bad ideas? Or is it just kind of like, oh no?
Oh, we got six pages.
This was their chance to rant.
He's got one final monologue.
Okay.
He's got one final monologue. Somebody did rightly point out that our church doesn't proselytize after hurricanes. Actually, we just go and help them and don't proselytize. Yeah. So he's getting that mixed up. And if she knows what she's talking about, if the sister missionary knows stuff, she'll know that. And then he says, so bad guy again, after saying the you only help people in hurricanes handle Bibles because it's easier to control people when they're vulnerable. He says, you've done everything I asked tonight. How did you get here in my cellar? Did I drag you down here? Did I even put a hand on you? And the answer is no. You're here because the ideas of men have influenced every decision you've ever made from the time you were born.
Patriarchy!
And
bingo!
Hold on. And okay. I was able to predict every decision you would make tonight because of that. Why does the Pope always have the penis? Why was Eve created from Adam's rib? Why were the holy books written by a fraternity of dudes in the desert? All religion is prophesied, recorded, and controlled by men.
You guys are bad.
Do you know that when I told your church elder when he came do you know what I told your church elder when he came looking for you? I told him they aren't here, and he took my word for it because I am a man.
What trash?
Patriarchy!
You have let men dictate every decision of your life. They decide who you worship, where you worship, what you worship. They even dictate the garments you wear under your clothes.
Wow.
And then Sister Cute, the what? Your undergarments. My what? Underwear. My what? Your magic underwear. And then she slices his throat.
Huh. Well, cool. Good for her. Good for her.
Yep.
You know,
and
good
then
for her.
She slices his throat and runs away. And she's trying to run away. And so that's the part in the trailer where she's climbing up the stairs and going down the hallway while the camera's panning out. And she's screaming, "Help me." Yeah, that's that part. And she finally realizes that it's a loop. It's a whole loop around. And she finds the model of the house. Because, while they've been going down the stairs and stuff with the prophetess, he's been moving their little pieces, like his little mannequins, his little voodoo dolls or something, into place. so here's where the plot falls apart. How does he know that the elder was going to come to the door and check on the sister missionaries right as the old lady?
Creative license.
No, come on. He's supposed to be some sort of super genius that happens to know a guy's going to knock on his door in the correct 30-second window for no reason whatsoever. Like, no. And also that he took my word for it that you weren't here because I'm a man. No, he probably would have believed it even easier if it was a cute old lady that came to the door and told them the missionaries had it.
True, actually. That
totally doesn't make any sense whatsoever. An old lady would be much more believable to be like, no, I'm not threatening the missionaries right now than a man. So it's just so stupid and dumb. But anyway, she finds out it's a loop, and so she's back in the cellar place that she was before with her dead companion and the old lady and stuff. And then he comes up behind her, and his vocal cords have been like cut, and so he can't say anything. And then she gives him this little monologue, Sister Cute, mind you, all of a sudden is like very intelligent and nuanced, and tells him about the study where they had people we pray for this set of people in the hospital, but not for this set as our control group. And there's actually no difference between the two, so praying doesn't work. She like explains to him this study while he has his vocal cords cut and is bleeding out in this cellar. And then she says, and he's like coming towards her to try and like stab her. He's getting closer and closer and closer. And she's explaining the study to him. And then she says, but the beautiful thing is, I don't think it matters if prayers work. What matters is it's nice to think about somebody else once in a while, even if it's yourself. And she kneels down and she starts praying. And he's about to come up behind her and stab her. And then the other missionary actually wasn't dead all the way. And she comes and she him into the side of his face with a floorboard that they had found earlier that was kind of loose, that had nails sticking out. And so Sister Smart him into the side of his face, and the nails go in, and it looks like it's going to be a kind of gory shot. He rolls over and he's dead. Sister Smart has finally just about finished bleeding out, and so she dies. And Sister Cute finds the little hole that gets out of here, and she crawls out, and she starts getting a ton of texts and calls on her phone, starts blowing up now that she has service. So she's like holding it, and the little butterfly comes and lands on her finger.
I told you the butterfly was coming.
But she was the one that said when she died she wanted to be a butterfly. But it was the other missionary who died. And then the butterfly came and landed on her finger.
So she stole
So God
her
is
idea.
real.
Well,
so God is real, and they just redeemed themselves.
So here's how it ends. Is it a sign from Sister Smart? Is it a message from God? Is this butterfly a dream? Oh, they talked about the butterfly dream as well. That was some sort of philosophical thing really quick there in the simulation conversation. Are we in a simulation? Is it just a coincidence or a hallucination or divine confirmation? Who knows? End credits.
Man,
they think they're going to rock the world. They think that the Pope's going to issue a statement. They're imagining we're going to tie them all up in knots, man. This is going to be an earthquake in the religious world. These writers are just... Wow.
I
So
hate
proud
to
of
say
themselves.
this. I hate to say this, but it does smack. If everything you say is true, and I'm not just being influenced by the rose-colored glasses, no pun intended, the rose-colored glasses that you're wearing, it does smack of this odd self-congratulatory nature that so many people have that go anti-religious, as though they think, oh, humankind hasn't asked these questions for 5,000 years. Like, oh, yeah. Yes. Thomas Aquinas was not, writing entire tomes on this as he sat fasting for 40 days to figure out if fasting works. Oh yeah, nobody else has actually ever wondered, could we double blind test prayer? Does prayer work? Like there's something that happened between like 1964 and 1994 where people just like born at that time just literally think we are peak humanity.
We are peak
humanity. We figured this out. Everybody else was just stupid. Oh, and
we're the first ones.
Yeah. It's
totally.
Now,
I want to point out there's a meme, a very apropos meme. Now I know that some atheists are going to watch this stream, which is why we have to bring this up, because I just the idea that it's going to make them angry. I just love it too much. I can't deny that I just love making them angry. So in the Heretic bingo thread of the Discord, Cardin,
Okay.
There's one of my favorite memes about religion and about atheism. Okay. It's a little comic down there. Tell me when you pull it up.
Got it. Oh, I made this. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Hit it.
Right. You seen this?
Yeah.
You seen this? Religion says,
Yep.
look, I made this. And it's science, and hands it to atheism. Atheism pauses and glances at it for a second and says, I made this.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, atheism. Every advance in technology and civilization since the dawn of time has been faithful people. So sorry, but you are not the geniuses that you think you are. You're totally right. 1964, 1970, all of a sudden they think no one's ever asked these questions before because they saw it on TikTok or saw it on TV. It's like, pick up a book, people. Pick up a book.
Well,
there's no chance these writers.
Well, it's
read
also
those
like
books.
this whole Darwinism thing. They don't even realize Darwinism has been disproven. Natural selection hasn't. We've got a lot of really, really great stuff that we've learned in terms of genetics. Who was the scientist that famously crossbred the peas? I can't remember the name of the genetic study that was done kind of contemporary to...
Mendeleev? Was that Mendeleev?
Yeah, one of those, right? So we've been able to prove a lot of genetics. We've been able to prove a lot of like natural selection. We've even been able to prove kind of some of these hybrid theories and genetics and so on and so forth. But like Darwinism has been wholly disproven. Like it cannot explain the origin of all these species. There has been no common ancestor. That's never been naturalistically observed. We haven't been able to explain the Precambrian explosion. It doesn't explain how life could come forth from non-life. It is like all 7 of the biggest tenets of Darwinism have been completely destroyed. Interestingly, people who develop theories based on Darwinism, some of those secondary theories, like gene theory, those have been proven. Some of the secondary theories like natural selection and its application in like breeding of cattle and lizards and so on and so forth. There's been really interesting things that have been proven there. But a cat cannot become a dog and life cannot spring forth from non-life. Like the life itself requires a miraculous beginning. And ironically, the coding of our genes consistent with creative and intelligent design. Like if you read the book, Stephen C. Meyer wrote a couple of books, like for example, Darwin's Doubt on this subject.
Darwin's Doubt.
He also wrote a Return of the God hypothesis in regards to creative and intelligent design based upon the sequencing of randomly selected numbers in conjunction with the sequencing of the genome, right? So it's like,
I think this is the perfect time.
You're not smart because you read one book once.
Now, I think this is the perfect time to point out that there was a study done by Wood and Becks back in 1990-10 that said that all atheists have like a little bit of BO, but they don't know it because they're with it all the time. But they actually could track between a control group and atheists. They have this natural body odor, but they're kind of oblivious to it. But that's been scientifically proven. I just figure right now we should say that in the stream for anybody listening to this.
Yeah, well, this is hilarious. I made this. You made this. Science looks at it for a second. Atheism looks at it, and then boom, I made this. Oh, that is so apropos.
Because they think they're so smart. They think they're so smart, and they've never been smart. You've never been smart. The only thing you've done is manage to kill millions and millions of Chinese and Russians. That's the only accomplishment you've ever done. Every W in the history of humanity has been by faithful people.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it weren't Nazis killing my Polish great uncle and great aunt, it was the Russians. If it wasn't the atheistic Nazis in Germany, it was the atheistic Russians in Siberia that killed like half of my Polish family tree. So atheists can go F themselves. Their dogma does not yield anything but bloodshed, depression, nihilism, self-termination, cruelty, and all of the above bad things in the world. And you're not smarter because you disbelieve, and you're not stupid because you believe at all.
Jordan, look, you're getting really emotional, okay? I just want to say the facts are the facts, and there's a little bit of BO, that all atheists just kind of carry. They can detect it with statistical significance in a PRQR4 squared value of 91. And it says all atheists have just a little bit of BO. Okay, I'm I'm reporting on the research.
Yes.
Okay, and I want every
You're
atheist
raising
listening
awareness
to go, to go Google this.
Yes. All right. So we this has been awesome. We're around the curve here, guys. We only got like 5 minutes left. If you have any comments, then they're germane to the conversation. Please send your super chats in right now, and we'll do our best to read them. Also, I see that we got a lot of people watching the live stream right now, but only about 40% of you guys have liked this stream. Please make sure that you like this stream. Also, shout out to all of the members: Danny Gray, Ashton Vidal, Patricia Edgetoe. We got Kyle, the Y Gods here. Let me see. Who else do we got? Canuto de Leon. And, Jonah Barnes, you're also in the chat with Carson. Good job, Jonah. Good to see all of you guys right here. If you have something funny you want to say, something that's relevant to the conversation, please send us a super chat. That's actually what helps keep all of these lights on and keep our equipment current and everything.
In case anybody is wondering, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints spent $40 million for repairs after the last Haitian hurricane. They housed hundreds and hundreds of locals in their buildings, which they donated to house people there. And there are over 25,000 Haitians who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So I am very curious to know how many millions of dollars Beck and Woods spent after the last Haitian hurricane, and how many families, houseless families, that they housed after that hurricane. I'd be very curious to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, see, what's interesting, though, is part of the reason why I'm not completely sold on the idea that this was just anti-religious animus on behalf of Beck and Woods, though that is the low-hanging fruit, is because A Quiet Place was an ostensibly pro-family movie. In fact, oddly enough, it was the most patriarchal movie of probably that year. You had a strong patriarchal figure who was not represented as incompetent or bumbling. He co-parented well with a woman he was obviously faithful to. They said an audible prayer at the beginning of dinner in the movie.
Wow.
And positively representative as self-sacrificing for his children.
That's true.
Like when he screams with the axe above his head. Now, interestingly enough, there's apocryphal stories that the script existed in a not as good form until guess who got a hold of it? Who was the star?
This script
John
or
Krasinski.
A Quiet Place?
A Quiet Place.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so we don't know what John Krasinski did to the script. Maybe John Krasinski saw like, was this a woke dumpster fire, and I'm going to make it a little bit more traditional, and thus probably yielding more of its popularity. Because I got to tell you, John Krasinski has proven to be a very, very effective producer, and to have a very, very good creative mind. And he's willing to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Traditional values sell, and let's represent the best of them. Obviously probably a liberal guy, but not some flaming woke scold, right? And I appreciate that. A Quiet Place is easily top 10 film for me, and probably will be for a long time. And this was originally written by them. Now, we don't know, though, if John Krasinski, because he was going to star in it, didn't really demand too much credit for his rewrites because he was already getting producer credit, and fine, whatever. We don't know how much of that was him, how much of that was them. If, for example, all the best things I loved about A Quiet Place were original to Woods and Beck, then then we can't throw them under the bus. Maybe this was just a swing and a miss. Maybe a woke scold had some really bad sex tapes on them, and they just had to write a real woke banger to get out of an embarrassing National Enquirer ad, or you never know, right?
Well, we should also point out that when these guys go make a film about religious people, right? They chose us. They chose the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, I think that this actually, in some ways, should be quite flattering
Yeah,
That
because
of
we're the
all the
only
people-
ones
Fair enough.
left. Yeah.
Mhm.
Of all the people they could choose to represent hyper faithfulness and religious devotion, and that everybody would recognize, they chose two sister missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So on some level, this is quite flattering. You know, they didn't go choose Jehovah's Witnesses. They didn't go choose an evangelical Christian. They certain as heck didn't go choose Catholics. They chose members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints because we are kind of the most religious. We've done podcasts on this. We're the most active religion in the Western world. We go to church more than anyone in the Western world, and we live up to all these insane standards. We did the one study we're looking at with using cell phone data to track the behavior of religious people. We've talked about it on this program, but they obviously have been watching this program a lot and decided to use us as the archetype for faithful religious people in the West today. So on one level, it's kind of flattering that they would do that. It's like if they were choosing, you know, they're going to carve Michelangelo's David, and they called me up and they were like, Jonah, we need you to stand in for this. We need some inspiration about the male physique. And I was like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I can do that. I mean, I charge a little bit of money. Like I don't expect a whole lot, but maybe some tips or something. But you credit me on it. I could use the publicity, you know. But if they wanted to reach out to the Ward Radio website and ask me to do that, I wouldn't say no. I'm just saying, I wouldn't say no.
Yeah. So
Okay, it's time to go. I gotta go to bed.
No, it is time to go. But before we go, though, I do have to say, Luke
Yes.
with no glasses.
Yes.
Dude, my man, you look cool with glasses, bro.
Thank you.
Like, I
Thank
think
you.
that's a sick look.
Well,
You don't
like
look bad without
my secret work is done now. We've gone through the script.
Oh, I thought you just
And
had
so it
like
was
pink
time for
eye or
the
something.
no, it was time for the
Excellent.
glasses to come off.
Excellent job, Luke.
So here's my question for the
that,
chat.
Is that mouse on Jonah's face in the video, or am I just seeing it?
No,
on his
no,
face?
you're
Okay.
just seeing it.
So wait, so this movie, I actually think it has potential. That first third and that last third are just rough, rough stuff. The plot completely falls apart in the last 10 pages of the script. It makes no sense. Like, what was he gonna do? That's what I'm asking. When he gets her to the end of this hallway, and he tells her about how men control everything, what if she didn't end up killing him? What was gonna happen after that? I have no idea. Like, where was it going to go? What was his plan? No idea. Doesn't make any sense. Also, the elder having to show up just at the right time for them to go upstairs and miss the switching of bodies. Doesn't make any sense. Them not pushing. If he had said, like, but there's no evidence of Jesus rising again. If one of the sisters had said, but why did Paul write about it then? It would have, like, I don't know what he would have said. His plan would have been ruined. So it's bad in that sense, but I like the, like, going down the faith and belief, and he's trying to trick them with a miracle and kind of the creepy cellar that's a big maze type of thing with an intellectual battle with somebody. Like the fact that he points out to her that I never touched you. You got down here at the end of this hallway all by yourself without me, just with me talking to you. That's kind of an interesting concept, a movie about control and stuff, but it just falls apart in the first third. And the plot falls apart in the last third, and there's all these weird random tropes, and it twists too many times.
But all you need is the middle, the satisfying middle, if you're just a Gen X or atheist.
I guess.
Like, that's all you need.
I guess so.
It's like we didn't go to watch Piranha 3 Triple D or whatever that, like, soft core movie was with all the chicks in bikinis. I actually didn't see it, but nobody's going to see that movie for the beginning and the end to make sure the plot works. They want to see all the chicks running away in bikinis from the ferocious piranhas, you know, because that's their soft core. That's their soft core, right? Well, for all the atheists, for all the Christopher Hitchens, for all the people that wished that all of their just angry, overeating, potato chip, couch potato-ness was just redeemed by their big-brained atheism, which actually isn't smartness. It's actually just cynicismness, cynicismness. But I know these things because I read Christopher Hitchens and Richard Dawkins once. They all would love to think that, like, they're the hero of the story that understood that monologue because, you know, because we're smart, because we're not religious, and you're stupid if you believe. Like, that's their brain porn. You know what I'm saying?
So
there's one kind of creep. There's like a TikTok video, and then a kind of creepy scene with a lady coming back to life, and like that's the whole plot of this thing. There's actually not much in this. What I thought was funny was Art Man. He he said we should make this a meme and like just make fun of this movie by making a game where we run around pretending to stab each other, screaming magic underwear. So just the magic underwear game. So the person who's it just runs around pretending to stab people.
Okay, I want to go to a theater.
Underwear.
What's the most, okay, this is the last thing I'll say before we got to go. What is you guys got like 30 seconds if you have any super chats you want to include. What's you think the place where there's the most amount of anti-Mormons that will be concentrated in one movie theater that we could go watch this in? I will travel. What is it? Sugar House? Is it North Salt Lake City?
Just laugh, and let's just like rudely laugh through the whole thing. I would totally.
Oh no, I would want to hear like
troll laugh.
Well, because they're so self-congratulatory in the sense that like they want to prove just like it's so true, like like it's gonna be like a struggle session mixed with like an evangelical testimony scream hallelujah experience.
Yes.
You know that's the way
Sugar
it's gonna
House,
be.
Utah. Park City, Utah. Sugar House, Utah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So go to Park City, Utah, a random theater at 7:30 p.m. in Park City, Utah, to try and see how many people just scream hallelujah to the angry Gen Xer atheistic TikTok tropes. So,
and we just want to say congratulations to Patricia Eggtel, who joined the Ward Radio Worship. All those who can put a W in the chat for Sister Patricia, please do so. Thank you for liking the stream, sharing the content, and for joining one of the kingdoms, guys.
Also, I have final thoughts.
Okay.
Why did they pick blueberry pie? That's disgusting. It should have been pumpkin.
That's actually
true.
true.
And also, I hope Elder Kennedy rides off on a horse. If not, they missed a big opportunity for patriarchy and horses. And those are my final thoughts.
Solid Margot Robbie.
He needs to
and
ride off
Barbie
on a taper.
reference.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Deep
fun.
thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
All right, guys. So, like we say all the time, it's been real and it's been fun and it's been real fun. If you guys would like to support the channel, please make sure that you guys head to Ward Radio and pick up a shirt. We also have some really cool hats that are available. If you're a person of means and you'd like to contribute to the channel, please consider a generous contribution through Zelle or through Venmo. We are at Ward Radio or Midnight Mormons, I believe, still on Venmo. But you can look us up under Ward Radio as well, still on Venmo. And there's one other thing that I got to say. Oh, yeah. If you want to help keep the studio running, we have an Amazon wish list that is going to be present in the description of most of our videos. And I believe this live stream as well. So other than that, thank you guys for everybody that was hanging out with us. Joining the channel is a big way to support the channel, and it's really fun seeing all the members making their comments. And there's all kinds of cool affordable options. You get all kinds of cool little perks. So please make sure if you can that you join the channel. And if you're one of the people that's tuning in right now and you're not subscribed, please make sure you press that subscribe button, but that you also press the yellow bell so you get alerted to our daily uploads. Guys, we have a daily upload on this channel, 365 days a year. We are posting content, and we also want to make sure that you check out the Ward Radio newsletter by going to wardradio.com, and actually right there on the homepage of wardradio.com, you can sign up for news alerts to all of the articles written by Luke Hansen here, who is the editor-in-chief of Ward Radio News. And let us not forget The Key to the Keystone by Jonah Barnes. Oh, I don't have the graphic up anymore. But anyway, Jonah Barnes wrote a super cool book. You can check it out on Plain and Precious Publishing, or here in a couple of weeks when it gets released, he's gonna be selling that through Ward Radio. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Check it out. So anyway, as we say, for this and more at the end of every show, for this and more, please check us out at wardradio.com.